Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me make sure that we're going to share screens appropriately. I've got a really neat free tool for you today. I'll give you a little preview since you're here early. That's not the preview. That's not it either. Hold on. What I want to do is I want to pull you forward. Yeah. Hey, welcome, welcome. Tosca, it's so good to see you here. Aw.
Thank you. Good seeing you. I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here too. Huh. Why are we not sharing screens correctly? That will make things a challenge. So let's troubleshoot. Welcome, welcome. Let's see what it will show. Let's see, will you do that? Okay. Welcome, everybody. Come on in. Get cozy. Get your drinks on. It is too early for fancy drinks over here, but I am in a different time zone than many of you. So what the hell is going on with our share button? Wonder, do I just have too many things open? That is always, oh, I see. This is probably the problem. So last night, you guys, while I was putting on the finishing touches of the presentation, I had to turn on an app blocker because I just kept sneaking onto social media. I was like, you've got to stop. So maybe that's what's happening. Let me see if I can find where that app, there's the app blocker. Let's make sure that's turned off. Huh, it's turned off. Okay, let's do a couple of other things. We will figure it out. All right, welcome everybody. Today is the day that you're finding out why the marketing you've done so far has not worked and what to do instead. Because the problem is not you. It's not that there is not enough clients out there in the world. Problem is just that you haven't had the right system. And I'm going to say that in a particular way. Problem is that you haven't had a system. Hallelujah. And most of us have an idea that we need to be marketing, but we're picking little pieces here and there, not realizing that all of those little tactics are not a system. But then the second piece is I see a lot of therapists who are buying their marketing, whether that's, working with an SEO company or a website designer or a copywriter or, whatever, one of these other big marketing companies. And the marketing isn't made for therapists. It's not made for service-based industries. So like our marketing is similar to, let's say, somebody who is a life coach or somebody who is doing massage therapy, because those are service-based businesses. But the marketing that's getting sold to us out there in the world is more for courses, digital products, coaching, which is a totally different, like business coaching is a totally different way to market than what you need to do as a therapist. So today you're going to figure out what you can let go of, which is going to feel amazing, and what we should be doubling down on. And the free tool today is fire. I'm super, super, super excited about it. Welcome in, everybody. It is time to start. So we are going with it right away. I usually tell you, like, have pen and paper so that you can take notes. Today is more of like a bringing it all together and helping it to get synthesized in your head. So you may want to take notes, but you also may just want to like feel into it. So kind of take a read on yourself and what would be most helpful for you as we're moving through. So question number one for you guys in the chat, let me know which of the trainings you have been to so far. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, and today is 5. So just type them all in there. Let me know. By the end of this webinar, I'm making you a very big promise. You're going to know exactly why your previous marketing efforts did not get consistent private pay clients and what will. All right, pop it in the chat. Let me see what you've been to. That's going to help me to know where to go deeper. Okay. Oh, I love, Paula Jean, that you have been watching the replays when you couldn't come live. That's awesome. Annie, good to see you. Went 3 to 5, viewed 1 to 2. Awesome. Oh, fantastic. Okay. Oh, we're in really good standing then. Fantastic. We're going to be together for about 3 hours. If we finish early, cool. We'll finish early, but you know, I'm here for the questions. So anything that you need to ask, I'm here for it today. Also know that on Wednesday this week, in addition to our coaching, I've also added a fear of visibility workshop. Because when we talked last time, the number one thing holding you back, is now you have the strategy, was your fear of being visible. So I want to help you break through that because your life deserves for you to live more of it. And if you're afraid of being visible, you're not going to get found. We can't get picked if we're not getting found. For showing up live today, you're getting a badass little toolkit that we're actually going to do together. So it's the first 90 days roadmap where we're going to figure out what you need to be doing over the next 90 days to get your practice moving in the right direction. All right. Oh, wait, no, I wanted to say this. All the really good coaches do this. So I was like, I'm going to do it too. Now's your moment to close all of the tabs that could be a distraction for you. To put your phone on do not disturb or silent so that you can be fully present. Now, if you have a little bit of neurospiciness like me, you can't pay attention if there's absolutely nothing else going on. So if you need a fidget tool or if you need to take notes just to stay tuned in, totally fine. And then when you're done getting rid of all of the distractions that do not serve you, I would like you to type Possibilitarian into the chat. Most of you who are here since day one, you don't have to spell it right. You remember that we talked about the importance of allowing yourself to be a possibilitarian and to let yourself dream bigger, to be more spacious, to imagine things that maybe you don't always let yourself imagine. And I'm going to tell you a short little story here. It's good to see so many of you here. When I was leaving University Counseling Center, most of you know that it was precipitated by a very painful, shocking, life upturning event. And you know how sometimes when you're going through really hard shit, clarity starts happening? Like all of the little voices in your head about BS that doesn't really matter but feels like it matters in the moment, like all of that starts going away and you start seeing things very clear. And I started seeing things very freaking clearly about how I wanted my life to look. And I made big changes, the kind of changes many of you are about to make. And life was freaking epic. I will never forget the feeling of leaving a session, like in my guest bedroom, and going out to my pool and floating around. I was like, what is life right now? I am working half the hours that I was working before. I am making the same amount of money, and I'm going to get out of this pool in an hour and a half, and I'm going to go see another client. They're not going to know that I was chillaxing in the pool. Like, it was mind-blowing to me. And now it's been 10 years. And I noticed that wherever you go, there you are. And the little overworker part of me has come back to live in this new life that I have created for myself. And I find that it is time to do another look. Like, okay, so that little part of me that starts filling in the cracks of open time with work, or let's be real, scrolling social media, rather than doing fun shit or connecting with people that I care about, that part started creeping back in. So I've been thinking a lot over the last week about how can I do two things, and I want you to think about this too. Create more fulfillment in my days right now before any change happens. So that looks like going and sitting out in the hammock in the backyard, even though normally what I would do if I had a 15-minute break is screw around on my phone. that 15 minutes is life-giving. It sounds silly, it sounds small, but when you're laying there and there's a huge tree above you and it's beautiful and the sun is shining, all of a sudden things open up. So I'd like you to put in the chat, what's one thing that maybe from week one, you got inspired to do to live a little bit more fully right now? Because the reality is we don't have to change our whole damn lives to have a little bit more fulfillment. So what's something for you that's your thank you guys for the possibilitarian? Yep. What's something like right now? You know, some people do these webinars and they're like, your life is going to be shit until you sign up for my program and then it's going to be amazing. That's not the vibe. Like, there's amazingness that can happen right now. Join a dance class. Yes. Singing. I just saw this advertisement for a theater camp for adults. They're doing theater camps for adults. You go and you stay overnight for like 5 days and you get to do theater camp stuff. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Let's do fun stuff. Sitting and reading, yoga between sessions. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Throw the ball, play with the dog during breaks. Absolutely. Yes. Okay. So then step 2, I've been reimagining life a little bit. I made some good decisions. So for example, when the course and things like that are going to happen, I built it so that whether I was in Florida or in Colorado, whichever coast I happen to be on, the courses were going to fall during a time when I would actually want to be awake, right? That was super smart. But something that I haven't done that I used to do is take every 4th week off, every 4th week of every month off. And it could be for vacation. It could be just because I want some time to think or read or lay in my inflatable friggin' pool because I don't have a real pool anymore, right? Like, taking time off. Or maybe it's the 5th week because we don't have as many of those. Maybe it's making sure to be done with work by 3 p.m. every single day, no matter what. So for future you, possibilitarian you, I actually told my husband last night, we're both wanting summers off. And I was like, I feel like if I had summers off in mind right now, I could set up my business so that next summer I could be off for 2 consecutive months. What are the big things that if you just let yourself freaking dream about it, you could probably make happen, right? Your summers are slow for many of you anyway. Why not plan to take that time off completely? You can. So possibilitarianism, and know this too, and I'm here to help you. You're going to get the dream life. You're going to acclimate to it. And then whatever your previous habits have been may start cropping up again, and we might have to recalibrate a little bit, get you back to where you want to be. Fully funding retirement LB. Yes, I am here for that. Yes. Karen, going somewhere warm and sunny for the winter, at least a month. Cannot recommend enough. Yes, yes. I definitely want to spend more time in Costa Rica. I love it there. And I know, like all the white chicks love Costa Rica right now. Listen, I love Costa Rica right now. I'm one of those chicks. All right, let's hop back in. Here we go. We have closed our tabs. We are going to be working through some of the mindset obstacles that are getting in your way, okay? There are 3 big things that I see that are keeping therapists from doing their marketing. 1, it's not going to work. They believe this. This is their core belief somewhere deep inside of them. They're hoping it'll work, but they really believe it's not going to work. Or 2, they think it'll work for other people, but not for them. Or 3, it's a good idea. I think it could work, but it's just too much work. So I want to hear in the chat which one is most you. And if all 3 are you, put them in order. Put them in the order in which they apply to you. Let's figure this out. Oh, yeah, Karen. Allowing myself to journal all the details I don't want to bore anyone else with. Journaling is so much clarity. Chris says, I attached an extra day off to every holiday for the rest of the year. Hell yes. First year in private practice. So this feels like a big step. Heck yeah. Yes. All right. So 3, it's too hard. Oh, y'all, this is so helpful. Okay, cool. Rachel says 2 and 3. It won't work for me. 3, a blend of 2 and 3. Okay, okay. So a lot of 3s. Oh, well, that's great. Okay. Do you ever, when you're working with trauma clients and they have a big breakthrough and they're, sharing something really deep with you, and inside you want to like do a little happy dance, but it's totally inappropriate in the moment because they're deep in their pain? That's how I'm feeling when I see you guys writing number 3. Like, okay, cool. Okay, cool. We can deal with that. All right, cool. Awesome. So here's our goal. We want to go from marketing feeling like disconnected marketing tactics, like I have to post on social media, right? Or dependence on middlemen who keep changing the freaking rules, to a sustainable, values aligned, private pay practice filled with clients you love. And I know that in day 2, where we talked about the money math, I asked you guys, how many clients a week do you want to see? Not now, how many do you feel like you should be seeing, but how many do you want to see? And I'm going to push that a little deeper right now and ask you, if you knew you were going to be in practice for the next 30 years, how many clients a week would you want to see? Pop that over into the chat. Sometimes that changes things a little bit. Yep. Oh, that's so validating, you guys. So many of you saying 10, which I remember I was like, okay, 20. And then I saw 20. I was like, okay, 18. I saw 18. Okay, 15. I saw 15. 12 would be better. It just kept going down and down. Awesome. Okay, sweet. Yes. Oh, you guys. Okay. And then notice what I'm doing here, y'all. Look at the meta, right? Remember how I talked about our hook statement and how if there's any objections that they might have or fears, you add a even if or without. So I know many of you want to market, but you're afraid that what marketing might mean is having to perform constantly on social media, or that you're marketing for the rest of your friggin' life instead of just the first year, or that you're going to have to keep partnering with companies that you don't trust or who reimburse you poorly, or you're going to have to sacrifice your integrity and, never give a sliding scale again, right? So I put all of those right here in the without section. Super meta. All right, so I know that core belief 1 wasn't as popular as core belief 3 and 2. So I won't spend a ton of time on this, but I want to hear from you if this idea of like it won't work is coming up for you. I want to hear what about it feels like it won't work. And some of the things that people have said in the past are, I've tried marketing before and it didn't work. Or it won't work in my area. It's too low income here. Or it won't work in this economy. Now you guys might be past all of these, or you might have different ones. But if part of your core belief is it's not going to work, I want to hear exactly what that is in the chat, por favor. You can be, because your fears are valid. Sarah, isn't that so interesting? So Sarah says she's charging $325 and yet she still believes some of these things. Like it still hasn't quite changed the fear. Okay. So Brittany is people can't afford it / I don't know how to reach people who can afford it. Have you guys read the book, The Millionaire Next Door? It's a really interesting read. And the part that feels relevant right now is I think that many of us feel like the people we need to market to are in these huge houses and they're wearing Prada or whatever the fancy shoes are with the red soles. And like, we have nothing in common with them. So how are we going to reach them? But part of the takeaway from The Millionaire Next Door is that there are a lot of people who have more money than you think, who are living really normal lives. They're living the same lives that you and I are living. They just have more expendable, you know what I'm saying, assets, right? Thank you, Andrea. I saw you wording it for me. So I want you to get out of your head that there's this group of people and they're so vastly different from you. And if you want to think about it at a psychological level, who was the theorist who came up with like, there are only this many emotions, like 7 or 12 or something like that. You remember that? And like, he had the faces and he went to all these places all over the world and across all of the world. Everybody has the same friggin' emotions. Like, we are not that different, y'all. Our DNA is very, very consistent. So to think that somebody who, just because they have a little more money than you do, is so vastly psychologically different is just us othering other people. Okay. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Yeah. I have I'm going to be careful how I say this because I don't want to out people's business, but I have someone I know who has what I consider to be a shit tonola of money. Like, to me, that's a shit tonola of money. And yet, when I see this person or hang out with them, they're stressed about money, because the more money you have, the more expenses you tend to have, right? So, you know, the kids are going to very fancy schools. And this is somebody who, if I worked 1 year in their job, I could retire. I could be done working forever. But they, in their mind, are going to have to work for the next 15 years to keep up with their expenses. Now, who feels like that in this room? Like, dang, I got a long time to work to be able to fund my retirement, to keep up with my expenses, right? Same. Yeah. Okay. So I just want you to take in that celebrities are just like you, like People Magazine kind of stuff, right? People who have more money than you doesn't necessarily mean that they're in this billionaire club. It takes not as much extra income as you think to live a life where you're comfortable spending more than you guys might be comfortable spending right now. Okay. And if you have an insight there, because I know some of you have done way more money work than I have. I still have a lot of money hangups that I work through. If you've got some tips for your peers that you want to share around that, please do pop them in the chat. This is not the Amber Show. We want to help each other out. All right, let me find my slide. All right, so if the biggest issue is like, it won't work in my area, no problem. We will market outside of your area. If you've got questions about that, we can talk more about it today, because I think sometimes we get stuck in an idea that marketing means talking to the people in our area, like driving to the doctor's office and like leaving them a gift or something. And it doesn't have to look like that. So we can market to any area of the country or outside of the country that we want to. It's not hard to target market. We've talked extensively about what happens in an economy like we're in right now. So I'm not going to go there right now, but if you have more questions about it, I absolutely will. The question of, I've tried marketing before and didn't work. For 99.9% of people who tell me that, what they mean is, I have a website and I've listed myself on directory listings. That's 99.9% of folks. And we know that that's never, ever going to fill a private pay practice. But some of you, and y'all are like elite level pursuing marketing. We've discussed this. Some of you have hired people, SEO, copywriting, etc. If that's you and it didn't work for you, I want to assure you of a couple things. The money and time and effort you invested in that is not wasted. We can absolutely use some of the assets that you got through that paid work from other people and plug it in to a full marketing system so you can actually get the rewards that you paid for when you invested in that, okay? I'm going to tell you a little side note that has nothing to do with this slide. It just occurred to me and I want to save you from danger. Sometimes when I talk to people who've had somebody do SEO for them and it didn't work, quote, they go through their website and they just start changing everything. Friends, please do not change your headers or subheaders or your alt text on any page on your website until you have looked to see how many people are landing on that page a month. If it's over 100, please don't change the header, subheader, and alt text because they're working. We can change some other shit, but don't change that because you will erase your good SEO mojo. And if you have questions about it, let's talk about it today, because it is painful to work with folks, hey Liz, who have like done this great work and then they just erase it and we lose that traction. Okay, LB says, I get so frustrated because all I need is 3 to 5 more weekly clients and I'm licensed in 2 states and I've just not been able to get full, stay full. It makes no logical sense. Oh, I love that you're saying this, that I can't find 3 to 5 people who can pay for therapy out of pocket across 2 states, one of which is very large. Yes, yes. So what that tells us is that it's a marketing problem. It's not a these people don't exist problem. You have ample access. So we can troubleshoot today, girl. We're going to be going through a tool because you're here live. You get the tool and we're going to go through and start troubleshooting where the gap is happening. And that's one of the most fun things that we can do because it's really cool to be like, oh, it's just this button, you know, like sometimes it's just something super simple. All right, so the next one is this, whoa, won't work for me. What the hell is going on with my computer? There we go. This won't work for me. So if this one is you, I want to see in the chat what it is about you that you think will make this not work. And I know that this is a super vulnerable question, right? So protect yourself if you need to, but also you're among friends. Let us know what it is about you that you think means that this won't work for you. And while you're plugging that in, I'm going to take a little drink and I'm going to look at Kristen. Welcome. Oh, wait, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry, girl. I just pushed yes on saying you can share your screen, but I did not mean that. So please don't share your screen. But it's good to see you here. I've known Kristen from way back. I love seeing familiar faces. So Gina's saying, I've done all the following on my own: SEO, blogging, which is SEO and content marketing, my website, social media, directories, and mostly online networking. Recently, I've been hanging flyers in some coffee shops and in colleges, as well as meeting with the few local psychiatrists that are in private practice themselves. Okay, so you have a very good start. And what it sounds like to me is that perhaps these pieces aren't working together. I'm also curious, Gina, and I won't put you on a hot seat and do coaching on you in the moment, but I'm also curious how tight your niche is. So I would actually, you know what? When we go through the toolkit together, it's going to help us audit what might be happening. So take space when we get there. Okay, so Josephine saying I'm just too new. I just got licensed. I'm not specialized enough. I'm not good at follow through. I got you. I get that more than I would like to. And I've got something cool for you. Not specialized enough. Okay. Too much on my plate to follow through. You know what, Barbara? I say that constantly. And I realize that I'm the one that keeps putting shit on my plate. Like sometimes it's just life, right? There's a period in life where too much shit is on your plate and legit, there's nothing you can do about it. But I say that way too much for it to be a season. There's something I'm doing, and I don't know if that's true for you, but there's something I'm doing that's putting more shit on my plate and I have to get in front of it. Not experienced enough. I'm not good enough at follow through. Oh, y'all are going to be so excited about the freebie that I have for you today. Okay, consistency is challenging. I'm more shy than I thought I was. Yes, not good enough at follow through. She's neuro spicy. She's neuro habanero. Oh, that's hilarious. I've missed something simple. Too much on my plate to keep up. Okay, lack of energy to do more than just counseling. It all seems like so much. Okay. And I appreciate Rachel gave a trigger warning here. So low income background. And so just, I'm not going to say it out loud in case you need to skip it, but major trauma precipitating needing to market to make money. So we're already in a super vulnerable place. And now we're like, hey, go get visible, right? Get visible while you're still working through your own stuff. Super hard, super hard. Yes. Okay. So this idea of I'm not specialized enough, I want to challenge for a minute. Or let's start there. I'm not specialized enough. I'm not good enough. Is there one person that you have ever worked with where you felt like, wow, we are in sync. This is really making a difference in their life. I feel inspired by the work that's happening between us. If there has been one, solo uno, you are good to go. Because all we have to do is attract that one type of person to your practice. There is no good enough therapist, right? Like when people say I'm a really good therapist, that means nothing to me. Like good at what? You can't be good at all the things. Are you good at solution focused work? Are you good in working with males? Are you good in working with transgender folks? Are you good in working with people who are more conservative? Are you good in working with people who are like conservative, but learning to be whatever? About to get political, but I'm not. Rein it in. So it's just one human being that you have to be amazing at connecting with. And then we market to that person. You don't need to be good at treating everybody or everything. In fact, nobody is. The best thing that I have ever done for my psychological health is make a list of the things that I'm not good at in therapy. Because when I can do that, I can be like, oh, pressure's off. I just know I'm not good at that. Like, I just won't do that. I'll do these other things. So if you feel comfortable in the chat, can you list, without pathologizing somebody, folks that you just are not great at helping, right? So I'm going to give you some examples because, shared vulnerability. And this is not meant as a beef against any human. It's my stuff. I am not good at working with anybody with super restricted affect. So whether that shows up in a restricting eating disorder situation, or a really flat lifelong dysthymia, if I can't see emotions, I don't know what to do in the room. So that's a client that's not a specialty for me, right? Also, like Karen saying, like also angry, I'm not great at anger. I'm great at getting people who don't feel it to tap into it, but people who feel a lot of it, I get a little intimidated, right? I'm great at working with people with narcissistic traits so long as they like me. But the minute that shit spins, and it will, I'm not so good anymore, right? So what about you? What can you just say? Like, I know I'm not great at this. And that's fine. Folks mandated to treatment. Yeah. Too much resistance or pushback on that scintilla of self-examination. Yeah. If somebody's super intellectualizing, I can get caught up in that because I can do that too. And so I have to, like, I wouldn't say I'm bad, but I would say it's not my strongest because I will be right there with them, intellectualizing right along with them. Yes. I'm not gonna read that one out loud, but Michelle, yes. Right. Now that you've like not having to worry that you're being an egomaniac, right? Because you've named what you're not good at. Can you just step into naming one type of person that you happen to be really, really good at connecting to, that you just get them? I don't mean you have to change your life. I mean, you get them. You understand them. Maybe it's you 5 years ago. If you're neurotic, I get you. If you have anxiety disorders, I get you. If you are neurospicy and your brain is going in 20 different directions, I can track you, baby. I'm with you. I'm following. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, Jessica, see, I'm terrible at that. So Jessica's saying I'm great at working with people facing existential issues that can't be fixed, like death, separation, divorce. See, I'm not good at that at all. That's great to know. Autistic men and women who are open to the idea. Children who've experienced sexual abuse. HSP, middle age, empty or near empty nest, married health professionals like OT or PT. Girl, could that get more specific? Love it. And the fact that you have professions in there makes it super easy to target market. Ooh, Gina, Highly sensitive people among family members or cultures where emotions are not understood and or minimized. Awesome. Oh, that's so marketable. Jamie says people in high achieving roles who aren't satisfied in some area of their life, usually relationships, love depth work, existential issues. See, I'd love to work with you, Jamie. Yes. Yes. The hyperfixation on achievement can really make you like almost immature in other areas of your life because you've almost like neglected growing in them. Awesome, guys. This is fantastic. So your people are freaking out there and they're waiting for you. What are we doing? You guys are so good at this. So I'm not specialized enough. I'm calling BS. Look at those specialties. What people used to care about when they were looking for a therapist, the way that they knew how to see, like, is this person good enough, is they looked for credentials. The more letters after your last name, the better they liked you. That is not the market that we are in currently. Currently, we're in a relational market. People want to feel understood. This is amazing for us because guess what you guys are amazing at doing? Letting people feel understood. And we do that in your copywriting. So I have all sorts of like structures and templates and stuff like that to give you guidance on what the copy flow should look like. But you are the expert in how this person feels, what they think, what their patterns are in life. And when they see that on your page, they want to work with you. It's truly that simple. Now, I want to talk about the, I'm not good enough at follow-up, the neurospiciness. I got to get you to another slide. Hold on. Hold up. Wait a minute. I'm going to put some bass in it. Right. If that kind of thing gets on your nerves, then you do not want to be in a course with me because I cannot help myself. I will associate two songs at all times. All right. So if you got a little trouble getting shit done or being consistent or prioritizing the right thing, I have a free mini course for you. I should really call it an experience. So this is for folks who have already bought the marketing intensive or who bought it like in this round or who buy before tonight. Here are some of the things that are not good with my brain. And I can say this because I know that there are some good things with it too. I have really significant memory issues. My memories are stored in like, I pictured almost like file drawers with emotions. So if something made me happy, all the memories associated with happiness are there. If something made me like creatively think, all of the things associated with that are there, which is a real problem. When I need to access something, I often cannot find it. I need exactly the right words to be able to know which file drawer the damn thing is locked in. I have some issues and gifts around impulsivity. So even though I have a laundry list of things that need to be done, the thing that gets me excited in the moment to work on is the thing that I will be doing, even if something is more urgent. My motivation, let me know, please, if any of these you relate to, so I'm not out here by myself naked. My motivation is there's no dimmer switch on it. It's either all the way on and I am going and hyper focusing for 12 hours straight, 8 hours straight, or it's off. And I don't even remember that there are things that I'm supposed to be doing because it's off. It does not exist, which is related to compartmentalization. If it's in the compartment and I do not see it, I do not remember that I need to be doing it. Okay. Then we've got people pleasing, where you're saying yes to all sorts of things because you're not trying to please them. It is reflexive for you. You're like, yeah, I could totally do that. Yes, I could do that. Yes, I could do that. But there's like a laundry list of other shit that you've already said that you're going to do that you haven't done yet. And you have all the good intentions in the world, but not enough time. If you're multi-passionate like me and you get lots and lots of ideas and it's hard to narrow it down, I created this little mini course for people like that. I have watched a ridiculous amount of productivity videos over the years, usually when I'm like putting off doing something that I should be doing instead. And so I built a course around what works for me. I actually have a little handbook that I call the handbook to my brain, so that when I can't get myself started on a task, I can literally go into my little handbook. It's now in a ChatGPT bot and be like, all right, here's what's happening in my brain. And then I can get guidance on like, oh, remember this hack works for you and this hack works for you. Shiny object syndrome, yes. To a T, yes, yes. Ideaphoria, too many, yes. So I built this in as a bonus for anybody who's buying the course tonight, because I do think that for those of us who have trouble with consistency or discipline, I hate that word, it can be really helpful to have guidance to get shit done that needs to be done. And something that happens a lot in the course is somebody will say to me, you know, oh, what if I did this? This would be cool. And I will often say that would be cool, but it's not a needle mover. So you can do it as your like fun task, but it doesn't get to count as your needle moving task, because it's hard when you're in it to know the difference between like what could be helpful by like 1%. I want to give you the 20% that gets you the 80% of the results. And anything else you want to do it because it's fun, but don't do it because you feel like, oh, I have to do all the things. We ain't doing all the things. Let me get us back on track with our regular slides. So that should help with your fear of like, I'm just not going to be able to do it. Sure you will. So you've got a little course to help you to do the thing. All right, let's get back into presentation mode. The computer is just doing all sorts of weird stuff today. Full screen. Okay, let's go to the obstacle 4. Let me get you shared here. Because, I mean, obstacle 3, because that was the one that most of you said you were afraid was going to get in your way. So let's talk about it. Shiny object syndrome is something, I'm just looking at the chat, that like I have a love-hate relationship with, because shiny objects give me enough dopamine to get me to initiate on a task. But also it can send me down a rabbit hole of tasks that really aren't going to help me, but are just fun. So we've got some hacks to work around that. All right, talk to me in the chat when you're saying it's too hard. Tell me what it is that feels too hard. Some of the things people told me in the past are, I'm afraid I have to be a social media influencer. I'm afraid I won't have time. I'm afraid my brain won't be able to do it. I'm afraid of visibility. Tell me what the too hard is for you. I can't write social media stuff. I know marketing works. When I did it, I got results, but doing it consistently is hard because I'd rather do something else in the moment. Yes. That's why, Jessica, I feel like I always tell people with marketing, you go hard. Used to be you could go hard for 6 months, but now it's more like 9 months. You go hard and then you coast. Marketing shouldn't be something we're going hard at forever. I made a mistake in my practice, Jessica, where I marketed really hard. All the clients were coming in. I'm like, cool, not marketing anymore. But I never did any marketing maintenance. So then all of a sudden I was like, oh, uh-oh. I'm not getting clients coming in. Uh-oh. So we don't have to market hard forever. Think market hard for 9 months to 12 months. And then we're done. We're on maintenance mode. And I'll tell you guys what maintenance mode looks like as we get towards the end here. There will be one more thing I put effort, hope into that doesn't work. Oh, yes, yes, yes. It's like all those diet programs that are like, just eat grapefruit and you'll lose weight. You know, like there's 20 million of them, right? And then you try them all and they don't work. So there's a fear of getting hopeful and then being let down. Josephine says, I literally have no clue what to write on social media and I hate it in general. Well, you guys are just like, it's almost like I paid you to be here to say the things that I want you to say. I always hear that you guys hate social media. So we built it for you. We have all your social media done for you. That's another bonus. Notice how the bonuses are things that I'm like, if they don't get this, they might not want to sign up. So social media is done for you. Shirley made all your social media posts. You only need 30. She designed them. They're beautiful. They follow the social media formula that you need, which is information, sales, and inspiration. And all you have to do is plug them into your social media and then leave them alone. You never have to do anything else with it. You can change the colors if you want. I give you a little tutorial on how to do that. You can change any of the writing that you want to, but you don't have to. You can literally just take it as is. The entire point, let me look at your beautiful faces. Okay, let me say this like really, really clearly. The way you see other people posting on social media is not what you need to do. Okay. There are businesses that require a lot of social media. My business requires a lot of social media. Your business does not. There's a group of people who are posting a shit ton who are therapists because they like it. And that's cool. Let them do their thing. That does not mean you need to do it. And there are people, let's say therapists, who are posting a shit ton on social media because they have a side hustle that they're trying to funnel people into, or a high ticket coaching program that they're trying to funnel people into. This is not what you have to do. What you have to do is have a single social media presence, and you can even opt out if you feel really strongly about it. Just helpful SEO hack. Like a Facebook business page is usually what I recommend. LinkedIn, if your people happen to be like CEOs, CFOs, like people who are going to hang out over there, but usually it's a Facebook business page. You have 30 posts. We will give the posts to you. Change them if you want, keep them if you want. The goal is just to hack the SEO of having your name associated with a Facebook business profile because it has mad SEO. So you remember how we talked about you get the SEO cooties off of rubbing up against them, but the good cooties, okay? But the second piece is that it legitimizes you. It legitimizes you to Google, and it legitimizes you to your client. Here's how it legitimizes you to Google. Google is looking for you to have a broad but light online presence. And so is AEO. They're like, is this person legit? How do we check? Oh, they exist in more than one place. Okay, so they're probably not a catfisher. Is that what it is? No. What's that saying? Is it catfish? Yeah, it's catfish. Okay, thank you. Y'all are like, what is she talking about? You know, the people who like fake, like, for example, somebody faked like they were going to sell me a puppy and I gave them a bunch of money and they didn't give me a puppy. They were a catfisher. That legitimately happened. So Google just wants to make sure like you're a legit business owner. And that means you exist in multiple places. It does not need you to exist there perpetually, constantly posting. They just want you to have a damn page. Your ideal client is probably going to Google stalk you a little bit, and they just want to see the same thing. Do you exist in more than one place? So the 30 posts just need to reflect basic values of yours that will align with your clients. That's it. That's all we have to do. And we're giving them to you for free if you sign up the next 48 hours. I have learned about you guys. It is absolutely urgency that makes you buy. When I was looking at the stats of when people are buying the program, it's when there is a deadline. So I'm giving you some deadlines to help you. If you've been like, I don't know, and you're procrastinating like I tend to do, I have made some deadlines for you to help you out. All right, let's go back to our slides. Okay. Yeah, it's the ADHD and the dopamine rush. It totally is. Totally is. Okay. Let me look at your chat again here. It's too hard. Okay, so Michelle asked about YouTube. I have a pretty strong bias towards therapists who are willing existing on YouTube. YouTube is owned by Google. So it has two benefits. YouTube is owned by Google. Anything we can do to please Google is good for us. The Google business profile, YouTube, the more we please Master Google, the better. And YouTube allows you to become known, liked, and trusted by potential clients because they're seeing your face. Remember, it's a relational economy right now. So seeing your face makes a big difference. You do not have to do this. I'm just saying, if you thought about it, permission granted, it's helpful. And just like social media, if we're existing on YouTube, we're not trying to win any algorithms there. It's a totally different business model. Literally 6 videos, done. We're making 6 videos. We're not messing with it anymore. And that's going to get you all the little SEO and AEO goodies that you need. I will give you scripts, I'll give you templates, I'll give you whatever you need to be successful over there if you want to do it. The other thing that's amazing about video is right now, like if you're writing blog posts for SEO, it does help SEO, not as much as it used to. And when AEO is crawling the internet looking for information, looking to make a referral, somebody's saying, I need a therapist who does this. Instead of giving you freaking credit for your blog and saying like, oh, Gina Ramirez wrote this blog about blah, 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 and here's a great paragraph and go check it out and link into your blog. No, it's summarizing the blog as if it's its own work, and you are not getting credit most of the time. But it cannot do that with video yet. So if you have a bunch of blogs and you're willing to turn them into videos, it would behoove you. It would be very cool. So no pressure, just it's an act of service for your clients if they can get to know you a little bit, and not you sharing like, here's what I did on vacation, but literally like, hey, I know what you're going through. I know you're worried at night. And here are the sorts of worries that often come up for my clients. And here's what I recommend that they do with them. That's it. That's it. Yes, I do help you get off insurance contracts. Okay. What else did I see about the it's too hard? Was there any other it's too hard that the time. Okay, so it does take time to market. I am not going to lie to you, okay? In the marketing intensive, you're meeting with us 3 hours a week for 12 weeks. During that time, you're half learning, half doing, while you're like 1/3 learning, 2/3 doing. Because I want you to be implementing it, not just be another course that you take, learn, and do nothing with, like what I do with workout videos. I'm like, oh, that's so good, I'm gonna do that later. No, I don't. So we're implementing together. That's 3 hours out of your week for 12 weeks. And you're probably going to be doing some work outside of that as well. So my question for you is, if you spent, let's say 5 hours, let's say you spent 5 hours every week for the next, let's go big. Let's say 6 months. You won't, but let's just make it 6 months just for fun, right? Remember what we talked about with just moving from insurance to private pay, average reimbursement, it's $57,000, $57,600 extra a year in your pocket. Would you be willing to make 5 hours a week for 6 months if you could take home another 60 G's? I mean, like, that's what I have to think in my head, right? Like, because I don't want to give up 3 hours a week either for 4 months, but hey man, if it means for the rest of my life, I'm making more income and I have more free time, yeah, I'll buckle down for a period of time to do this. I want to ask you, like, realistically, what would you have to let go of in your life right now, or delegate away, or stop doing to make 3 to 5 hours a week for the next 4 months? I have to confess, and I don't even want to say this because it's going to make you think bad things about me, but I have a timer on my phone that tells me how much time I've spent watching YouTube videos. And it is absolutely more than 5 hours a week, like a lot more than 5 hours a week. It's embarrassing amount. Yeah. Yeah. I have to give up my New York Times puzzles. I'd have to put my phone away. Yeah. My husband is the way that his love language is quality time. And one of his quality time ways, which drives me absolutely bananas, is watching TV together in the evening, 2 shows. And he needs me to be still. This is incredibly difficult for me. Like, just to sit still for 2 hours of shows. There's not that much good TV on. So if this were me, I would probably say to him, babe, for the next 6 months, we get 1 show a night, and I'm reclaiming 1 hour a night, 5 nights a week to work on my marketing. Because yeah, it is a win-win, because it matters to me what my life looks like a year from now, ooh, thank you, Sarah. It matters what my life looks like a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now. I also, in the very first lesson in the marketing intensive, help you find time, because we got to find the time so that you can do the thing. I do better with no interruption. I will watch the new Matlock. Now, there's one belief that I didn't put in the other ones, and I want to talk about this. I am starting to believe that one of the core beliefs that I think is very dangerous is the belief that learning to market is optional. I don't know that I believe it's optional anymore. The way that things are moving with insurance companies, and I don't know the fancy words for this, but basically where a vertical structure, they're creating vertical structures where they own the drugstore, they own the drug being prescribed, they are on the board of the insurance that covers the drug. Like, they are consuming so much of the health vertical landscape, and their incentives are not aligned, in my opinion, with simply the care of their clients, patients, and making a profit. Of course, they have to make a profit, right? It's a for-profit group. Now it is profit, 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 profit. So much so that sometimes I have to like de-identify what I'm telling you so that I don't get in trouble. Some of these insurance companies are getting in bed with healthcare providers who will do an assessment of patients and then make a recommendation for what kind of treatment they need. And that assessor is not you. It's somebody who's paid to do that assessment and who is encouraged to send that person to an AI chat bot or an AI created mental health course rather than a therapist who is paneled with that company. That is scary to me. We also know that post-pandemic, like during the pandemic, the government was like, insurance companies, you have to pay for telehealth. You have to pay for, all of this stuff. Well, they lost a bunch of freaking money because the way that they make money is by people paying into insurance, but then not using it. Like, that's how they make their profit. Well, during the pandemic, everybody was using their insurance. And mental health was the number one thing. Behavioral health was the number one thing that people were using during the pandemic in all of their healthcare, which is crazy. So now my hypothesis is that these insurance companies are having to make up a profit loss. So you're seeing things like, and you're seeing it in all the Facebook groups of like the rates are going down. They're doing more audits. They're doing more clawbacks. They're giving fewer sessions to different diagnoses, right? If you guys know more about this than I do, because I've never accepted insurance, can you share what you're seeing with insurance companies in the chat? So let's take a moment and help each other. So Jessica just shared, and now the insurance companies have bought all the platforms, so they profit both ways. Yep. Yeah, it's some sketchy shit. It's weird to me that it's even allowed, like that the Federal Trade Commission isn't stepping in, because it feels like a monopoly. I mean, this is not my area of education, but seems strange. Julie says limiting EMDR to only a PTSD diagnosis. Yep. Keep it coming. In UK, less sessions allocated, more auditing. Oh, I know, dude. Jessica's talking about they own 𝐜𝐴QH now too. So they own our data as well. Yep. They also, yep. Yeah, it's so sketchy. Increase in claim denials. I didn't know that was happening. That's helpful to know. Michelle says there's a power and control wheel for therapists using insurance, for freaking sure. So for me, I'm pretty risk averse. So the way that I would think about working with insurance is I would be thinking, who's my biggest, easiest payer? I'm going to stay with them for a while I'm building up my private pay clients. And then I can make a decision. Do I stay with them or not? But at least I would have built a cushion of income for myself so that no matter what crazy town this company eventually does, I've diversified the ways that I'm getting paid. I think diversifying the ways you're getting paid is very, very important. Karen says, last year I had 2 insurance companies not pay me for several months. Eventually they paid, but I'm still in debt from being without that income for months. And probably then you're having to put stuff on your credit card, and then you're paying 27% on top of that. I don't know any other vocation where you can do the work and then not get paid for months at a time. It is so bizarre. Pisses me off. Okay, so keep sharing about insurance. I want to talk for a second about big tech. Actually, let me talk about group practices. I'm not anti-group practice at all. If you run a group practice or you're in a group practice and you're happy with the way that things are going, cool, perfect, keep it up. Where I do start to have some problems with some group practices is when there's a split of 60-40 or 70-30, and what you're signing up for as a clinician is, I'm signing up for you to make this easy for me. Like, that's why I'm with this group practice. I'm willing to give you some of my profit because you're going to give me all the things that I need to do my work, and you're going to do the marketing. But I see a lot of times now, the group practice isn't doing the marketing. They're expecting the clinicians to do the marketing, and not just collaborate on the marketing, but do the marketing. So then what the heck are we doing? We're giving 30 or 40% away of our income to be able to have access to $10 Zoom and an EHR that you could do in your Google Drive? That doesn't make any sort of sense. So just beware. Now let's go to big tech. Big tech, I do not want to get sued. Big tech is trying to make money in so many different ways that their incentives have become misaligned with therapists. So there was a period of time where they were making money by taking a little bit of the money you would have gotten. So like, hey, we'll do the advertising for you and get you the clients. You give us a cut for having done the advertising. We'll give you the clients, you keep the rest. That seems like a fair trade. But then it started kind of escalating, right? Like, oh, that's not enough money for us because we're spending all this money on advertising. So we need to make more money. How are we going to make more money? And some of these companies have found ways to make more money that involve sharing your clients' personal information with other people. So marketers are chomping at the bit to get information about individuals that make it easier to market to them. So I want you to picture this. You have a new client come in, they filled out some paperwork for the big tech company that says like, hey, what's your clinical, like what's happening? And they're like, oh, me and my wife are having trouble together. We're thinking about divorce, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. And they match you with a therapist. And in that paperwork, because it was pre-treatment, they're allowed to use, some of the companies are allowed to use that information and share or give it or sell it, whatever, to marketing companies like TikTok, Facebook, etc. And then what happens with the data is that your potential client sees an ad immediately after having talked with you in session that says, hey, you need a divorce lawyer in Connecticut? Call blah, 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 blah. How is that going to feel to your client who's going to make some assumptions about the clinical information that they shared with you in that session? They also will gather behavioral data, like they might come to know that people who go to therapy weekly are more likely to spend money on facial skincare products or something like that. Like they start doing these analysis and then they start putting ads in front of your client. So it's a really, really dangerous situation. It's extremely corrupt. And one of the things that I worry about for you guys, and I have a podcast on this to walk you through what to do to make sure that you're safe, is that many of them do not call themselves healthcare companies. They are under a different umbrella. So by law, they're not required to adhere by the same things that you have to adhere by. I don't know if you've read the contract that you had to sign. That's like 47 pages of legalese. But in it, at some point, they're making sure to pass that buck on to you and say, like, hey, you know, you're the one with the license. So do what you got to do to protect it. But their literal policies wouldn't allow you to do that. Some of you know that some of these companies solicit testimonials from the clients and then literally post them on the website with their full name and sometimes with picture next, like your picture next to them, like, you know, Jessica's amazing and she's helped me with that. Your board is not going to give a shit that that company is not a healthcare company. They're going to give a shit that you, the licensed professional, the therapist of record, is doing things you're not supposed to be doing. So do not expect them to protect you. Many of them will say that they're HIPAA compliant. One of them got sued and lost because they did say on their website they were HIPAA compliant, and they were not. They were not. And now anybody can say they're HIPAA compliant. If you're looking to partner with somebody, like let's say that you're looking to partner with an AI note writing assistant, they're going to say they're HIPAA compliant, hopefully. They're going to give you a BAA, which used to be all we needed. It's a business associates agreement. What I would look for at this point is, are they third party verified as HIPAA compliant, and are they monitored 24/7? If they have those two pieces in place, I'm going to feel a little bit more comfortable. The point is, it is dangerous to rely solely on middlemen. If you learn to market, there is nothing between you and your client. All profit goes to you, all control goes to you. So sometimes these middle companies, even insurance, are stepping stones to get you to a fully autonomous practice where you're in control of things. Sometimes they're almost like the safety net in your practice. I could think about it like that. Like, okay, I'm going to partner with this middleman company, let's say Headway or Alma or, you know, somebody like that, because I know that they can funnel clients to me, but I'm going to learn marketing and I'm going to get the majority of my clients myself. And then this is just like a little safety net. That's okay. Just make sure you're covering your patooties, and eventually being sovereign is really powerful. It means that if an algorithm changes, if a contract changes, you're not high and dry wondering like, what the heck, now I've lost all of my clients. Okay, I'm gonna skip this. I don't even know why that slide is there. If you're wondering like, why do I even talk about this stuff? You know, it's really because I got so much freedom in my life by moving my practice, by starting a practice online and learning to market, that it feels weird not to let other people know that this is available to you. So you know, when I created this slide, what you normally put on this slide is like a collage of you doing cool stuff as the coach, to be like, see the cool life that I'm living, you can live this too. But what I thought was probably more powerful is showing you people living those lives who have been through one of my courses. Audrey, I'm sure most of you know Audrey. She's all over social media for her own coaching business now. She's over $350 an hour now. I don't even remember what her rate is, but she dialed in her niche and she does direct relational marketing. Yeah, 400. Thank you, Sarah. She's at 400 an hour now, and she has no problem filling and staying full because she knows how to market. She is in total control of her own life and her own practice. Lori, let's see. What does this say? Something came up over me and I followed up on 3 of my potential referrals, right? And all resulted in me getting ideal clients. Jen, and this is from so long ago, but I love it so much because Jen sent me a picture of her with her little baby. And she was like, I just booked my first couple at my full rate. It was so hard to pause after saying the amount. And she was getting to stay home with her little itty bitty cutie patootie baby who would sometimes come to class. And it was so cool to get to see her living that life. That is the stuff that gets me super pumped and makes me want to do a 3-hour talk because I want to see you guys getting those results. Let's slide back to our why. Let me check the time. Oh, we're good. Let's slide back to our why for just a minute. All of the whys that I've ever heard come back to one of these 3 things. It's either wanting more time, needing more energy, like, gosh, if you're working through a chronic illness and a flare-up means that your income has now dropped by a quarter for the month, that's a problem. We need to be making more money than you need. Every week, we need to be over making money so that when you have a bad week, you can take it off without stressing about your bottom line. So time, energy, and income. I want to see what it is for you. So let's say we got you those 10 clients at $400 an hour, right? And you've got all this time available to you. You have all of this extra energy. You have this really beautiful safety net of income. What practical thing, super practical, looks different in your life? I can tell you, if I did not have my husband to cook for me, the first thing I would be doing is ordering food, like those food delivery services. Bring me some pre-put together stuff. I will saute it, but that's all I'm doing. What are some of the things that you would do with that extra time, that extra energy, that extra income? Pay off my damn bills. Yes, I added the damn. Take time off. Take time off to do what? Travel more. Go, where would you travel to? Give me specifics. Support my daughter in college. Pay for my son's college. Yes. Time off to visit my sister. Austria, New Zealand, take me with you. Those are places I want to go. France, hire somebody to fix up my house. Yes. I want to be able to see 2 students at a crazy low rate supported. Yes, yes, yes. I was doing some math. I know that's a shocker. Yesterday, when I was supposed to be working on this presentation, I was like, how much money have I given away in therapy in a year on average? I just was curious. And the total was around $40,000 of free therapy every year. 40 grand of free therapy every year, because I was able to subsidize that with higher rates. And it's not just like generic free therapy. These are people that I had known for 10 years through University Counseling Center system, who truly couldn't afford, you know, a $20 copay. Like, insurance was not going to help them. And I knew them so well from having worked with them before. I was like, I just want to help. I just want to help. I just want to help. And so we were able to make it happen. These are actual human beings, you know? It's not just some random arbitrary goal. Week-long meditation, sashimi, I don't even know what that is, in Tasahara, California. Hell yeah. Yes. How many of you have student loan debt? That was like a big weight on me, like just such a huge weight. It felt like I was never going to get out from under it. And extra income makes a really big difference when you're feeling like you are under the pressure of an extra mortgage and student loans. I'm turning 60 and I need to retire. Yes. So we can actually do that math, Michelle, on like exactly how much would you need to make to be able to retire, and let's like do it. Let's set it up and let's go. So most of you are having some, like we call them objections in the marketing world, like hesitations about really going after marketing. And I think it's these 3 reasons that come up. So the missing system problem, the visibility myth, and the premium practice paradox. Y'all, I'm terrible at naming things, so I'm not gonna lie, AI helped me name those. I think they sound cute. So let's talk about the system. Get found to get picked. We keep it super duper simple. The complete private practice marketing system. Okay, Michelle. The complete private practice marketing system must do exactly 2 things. Help the right clients to find you. And then once they find you, help them to choose you. So there are some beliefs that are kind of getting in the way. These are false beliefs. I just haven't found the right tactic yet. Like, oh, I just have to figure out how to go viral on Instagram, right? Or this belief that I have to be everywhere online and I have to perform. Got to do a little dance and like point up at some caption box that I fill with something clever. or no one will pay those rates anymore. This is all just about a system. Okay. So the old story is like this. I built a website, it didn't work. And what people used to say is, I've marketed, it didn't work. And I'm like, well, what did you do? I built a website, never got any clients. Or they'd say, I tried SEO, but I'm still not full. Or I post on social media, nobody ever sees it, nobody ever comments, I don't ever get clients from it. I've written 16 blogs, right? And it's because all of these are either not essential at all or not working together in a system, a get found, get picked system. So just reminding you that any efforts you made, we can use. They're not efforts that are lost. We can just use them by plugging them into the system. Collection of pieces is not a system. So let's keep it super simple. I know you guys are worried about it being too much, right? I edited that. First, a website will help people to choose you, but they cannot choose you if they've not found your website. SEO, AEO can help somebody find you, but it's not going to convert into a client if your messaging and your copy or your graphic design feels generic or off. A referral partner can bring somebody to you, but that person still needs to get to know you enough that they have trust to take the next step. So are you seeing how like each of these is just a piece? Let me know in the chat what the pieces are that you already have in place that you think are probably at least average. What pieces do you already have in place that are at least average? Doesn't have to be awesome. My website is beautiful. A good referral system. Oh, that's a gift. Okay, Site Today, website, and Google Ads. Okay, we can get you clients without spending money on ads if you're interested. Word of mouth referrals, it's awesome. Feel really good about my website and referral system. Amazing. I need a complete redo of my website. Okay, so Liz is working on fixing some of the back end pieces. Couple of decent immigration eval referral sources, but just not enough. My website, but maybe it's not really average. I don't know yet how to evaluate my website. Okay, cool. We'll talk about that. Amazing. AI has led 2 people to Rachel for intensives in the last few months. Great. Yay. Yay. So each of you are having some pieces. Now we just need to like tweak them and take them up to the next level and make them work together as a system. All right. Do you know where your current system, if you have one, is breaking down? So you've already mentioned, like, I have a website and it's beautiful. Where do you think, like, we're missing? Where's the missing happening here? Victoria says SEO. And if you don't know, that's okay. If you're like, my website's beautiful, but nobody goes there. People finding it. Okay. Or people find it. I've looked at the analytics. I'm getting a ton of visitors, but nobody's booking. Okay. LB says a little bit of getting found, a little bit of getting picked. People are not finding me. The getting found. Okay, cool. Super helpful. Well, then let's talk about visibility, shall we? So we'll talk in depth on Wednesday about fears around visibility. In fact, to help me with that, while I have you captive here, can you share in the chat, and then Shirley, will you give me the summary, your fears about visibility? Like, what are the things coming up? Are you afraid? Let me come up with some examples. Like, maybe you're not looking as good as you once thought you looked. And so the idea of putting your face online makes you a little uncomfortable. Are you feeling like you have an ex that you don't want to see what you're doing online? Do you have family who are going to give you a hard time when they see you posting things online? Do you feel like a fraud when you talk to a potential referral source and you give them your little elevator pitch? Are you worried that if you post a YouTube video that you'll say something that's actually wrong and then somebody's going to come after you? Okay, keep it coming. Let's see. I'll say something wrong or not very clearly. It'll turn people off. I don't look great at 65 years old and I talk a little bit out of the right side of my mouth. Me too, Glenna. I'll turn off religious clients with LGBTQIA affirmation. Yeah, because some of your people are conservative. So you're worried. Wait, no. Yeah. Some of your people are conservative. So you're worried that they'll be turned off about that. It's about perfectionism. I work a lot with gender expansive and queer clients, and I'm scared about what that can mean in the current political climate. Yeah, like that's about your own safety. Yes, we can talk about that, Lindsay, to like, how do we navigate that so you can be safe and your clients can be safe? But boy, if you could put something out, what a freaking gift to them. Yes. So sometimes it's about this fear of like, I teach things and I help clients with things that I still struggle with. And I don't want to get called out on that, or I'll feel like an imposter, afraid of getting canceled or people being mean to me, worry it'll be too commercial, imposter syndrome, too narrow of a focus. There is never too narrow of a focus, Julia. Never too narrow of a focus. That only helps you get found easily. Afraid I'm unoriginal. Girl, we are all unoriginal. There is nothing new under the sun. We are all saying the same things. We're just saying it with our own little joie, right? Worried social work students, interns will see me as money hungry. Okay, so Jessica, we can use that script that you submitted and make your own dang video, and we'll get you some better audio. We'll put it on YouTube. Okay, lack of consistency. Well, you don't have to be consistent. We only need 6 things out there online. So you don't have to be consistent at all. You don't have to be disciplined or consistent. Okay. I know, right, Liz? I just had somebody say to me the other day, they're like, you're so consistent online. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, no, I'm not. I disappear for like 9 months out of the year, and then I come and do a bunch of stuff. I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this. You do not have to constantly put yourself out there. What this will look like, I'm gonna do a little teaching here. We're thinking, how do I get found in the real world? And that's gonna be through relationships. And how do I get found online? That's gonna be online. So we have to be visible in both places. Let me not talk over the slide, hold on. Okay, yeah, we're good. Online, that means your website and having kick-ass copy that speaks to your ideal client. And it means existing broadly in a few places with naturally high SEO. Google My Business, maybe you do a Reddit AMA, maybe you make 6 YouTube videos. Like, we can find the place that feels comfiest for you, that is the highest leveraged. So what I'm not going to let you do if you join the intensive, because I love you and I want you to have success, is pick a visibility strategy that's not going to get you seen, but you pick it because it's comfortable. We're going to pick visibility strategies that will work for you and your personality and will get you seen. Okay, so I'll give an example. I have a student who she was like, I could do podcasts as a visibility strategy. And I was like, geez, that's a lot of work. We don't have to go that hard. But she felt like if she was interviewing people, it would be more comfortable for her. So that's what she did. She was like, this is like the lowest hanging fruit. This is the easiest access point for me for visibility. And I was worried about it. And I told her I was worried about it. She didn't want to put a commercial for her practice in the podcast. So there was no connection point between the podcast and her ideal clients. She's interviewing other therapists. So there was a lot of traffic going to the other therapists, but not to her. So we have to make sure we're doing a strategy that's actually going to be effective for you. Now, she loves doing it. So she's doing it out of joy and not just out of filling her practice. But I'm going to help you make sure that you're doing something that's actually going to leverage people coming into your practice. You don't have to share your personal life. I know that that is a fear a lot of people have. You don't have to share anything about yourself at all, other than talking about the work that you love doing for people. We don't do these kinds of things as commercials. So there's a really, let me see if I can say this super clearly. You know how, like, if you're selling a car, you're going to be like, there's, the biggest sale of the year, and we've got the new blah, 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 blah. Like, that's not what we're doing. What we're going to do is help people. This is how content marketing works. So we're not being like, right now, therapy is on sale and you can buy a bundle of 17 sessions for $7.99. Like, that's not it. Or instead, we're going to say like, hey, I know that you are struggling with your jealousy and you're in a new relationship and you're trying to make this different than the previous ones. So let's do a little deep dive on learning to listen to your body and read mindfully the cues of, like, I'm making shit up on the fly here, autonomic nervous system arousal, or like whatever. Read the cues of when you're getting anxious so we can insert a pause between your anxiety and when something comes out of your mouth to your new partner who you're trying not to scare away. That's it. That can be a blog. That can be a pamphlet. That can be a meditation. That can be a YouTube video. That can be a conversation that you're having with a gynecologist who you know is going to refer to you. And you know that they see a ton of people who have come out of betraying relationships because those people are getting STD tested. And now they're going into new relationships, right? And they're trying not to bring that trauma into the new relationship with them. That's it. That's all we're doing in terms of visibility. You can even think of it like, we're not making you visible. We're making your clients' pain points and how they can be helped visible. Does that make sense? This isn't about you. We're not selling you. We're helping people to feel better. Make sense? Okay. We'll do more on our visibility. I'm reading comments here. Okay. Okay, so somebody said in the comments, like, now that I'm trying to get visible, I'm getting spammed like crazy. Yeah, that's super annoying, and that definitely happens. So my phone, and I think all iPhones have a feature where it will let you know if the call that you're getting is a spam call or a real call. So I just don't answer. And you're going to get just BS emails. It's just going to happen, and we deal with it because that's the price of being visible. It's extremely annoying, but a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 7 years from now, you can take down some of that contact information, and then we don't have to worry about it anymore. And you're going to have a full practice. The practice will stay full, not by ongoing marketing efforts, but through referrals, through your clients referring to you and through their other providers that you've collaborated with referring to you. That's our maintenance mode. Okay. People being mean online. Nowadays, if somebody's mean to you online, it's often a bot. So back in the day, I used to respond to people who were mean to me online. And often they would kind of come around to my way of thinking, and it was very satisfying. But now when people tend to be mean, 90% of the time it's a bot. You don't want to engage with a bot because more bots are going to come. So I just don't respond at all. And if it's somebody that I suspect is legit, I weigh it out if it's going to be useful to respond. Like, if I think they said something that could be harmful to other people who are watching my video, I'll respond in a way that's really meant for those other people. If they're just coming at me, whatever, like, you know, okay, what are you doing for the world? You know, you're just behind your keyboard saying mean things to somebody. Are you out here making YouTube videos trying to help people? No? Okay, mind your business. So I can help you toughen up your skin. You also don't ever have to be that kind of visible if you don't want to be. You don't have to do YouTube. All right, you don't need to be famous. You need to be findable. You do not need maximum visibility. You need strategic visibility. So yes, you will have to come out of hiding a little bit, but you do not have to put yourself on display. Is that clear? You do not need to put yourself on display, and there are workarounds for everything. So let's talk about what visibility looks like in actual practice. Search visibility is just going to be doing the minimum SEO, and I teach you how to do that in the course. Minimum AEO, it's literally a paragraph, okay? And your minimum SEO is like 5 steps. It's super simple. Then we hack, we take advantage, we get the cooties from other people's SEO and AEO. One day I'll come up with something better. That's it. That's your searchable visibility. Super simple. Then relational visibility is we're going to make genuine connections, not shady, salesy crap, with a few key referral partners. Okay? So I'm going to just tell you one of the hacks right now. You can do this today. Go into one of the Facebook groups for an area of the country that you want to target. So let's say that I know I need clients in Naples, Florida. I'm going to join all of the Facebook groups for Naples, Florida. They're like community Naples, Florida Facebook groups, friendly, family, fun, Naples group. You know, like I'm joining all those groups. And then I'm going to make a post in them after, you know, I join. And it's going to say something like, hey, I'm a therapist in the area, and I'm wondering if you can help me find providers that you have personally dealt with that you think are trustworthy and helpful. In particular, I help people with anxiety. So I'm looking for endocrinologist, gynecologist, hormone doctors, like whoever else might help with anxiety, cardiopulmonary specialists, whatever, that you've seen and you would recommend so that I can pass those names along to my clients or get in touch with them. I'd probably say both, like, so I can make referrals to them and so that I can get to know them to know if I want to make referrals to them. Then we look at that list. We Google stalk just a little bit. Think about spending an hour, hour and a half. Google stalk. If any of them are concierge doctors or don't take insurance, they go to the top of the list, right? Because if somebody can afford to see them, they can afford to see us. Then I'm reaching out to them. I'm calling, I'm emailing, I'm sending them a Facebook message, whatever, LinkedIn, I don't care. And I'm going to say, hey, Nancy in the blah, blah, blah Facebook group told me that she absolutely loves you and that you would likely be a good person for me to connect with. I'm a therapist. I see people with anxiety, and she thought that you might be helpful place to refer my clients to. Can we hop on a phone call so I can get to know a little bit more about your practice and how it works so I can talk to my clients about it? That has turned a cold call into a warm call because we said somebody's name. We know they know where we heard about them from. We have something to say that's not just like, I saw your website and blah, 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 right? That we're going to reach out to at least 10 people. You're going to hate this, at least 10 people a week when we're in this section of the course, because about 1 in 10 respond. They're busy, just like you're busy. About 1 in 10 respond. And then we're going to have a friendship with them. We're going to get to know their practice. And then we're going to have normal people conversation with them. Like, oh, do you have kids? Like, what do you do outside of work for fun? Blah, blah, blah. We have a reason to follow up later. 6 weeks later, hey, are you watching see, I'm talking out of my butt because I don't know anything about soccer, but the soccer stuff that's been on, you watching that? I know you said your kid was in soccer, right? Like just connecting like normal people connect. Or if you're not good at that, which I'm not, I might say, hey, I was thinking about that patient you were telling me about that's having intrusive thoughts after she gave birth. And I found this video that might be really helpful for her. It's not by me, it's by somebody else. I'm going to send it to you. Okay. Is that okay? Do you want me to send it to your email or text it to you? Content marketing. I'm just doing something helpful out loud. I didn't even have to create it. This is keeping me front of mind for that referral source. Does this make sense? Yes. Okay, good. Good, good, good. That's that's visibility. Okay. Purposeful visibility is what we just talked about. Finding something useful you can create and putting it where people will find it. So if you deal with people who have been through betrayal trauma by a spouse who cheated, a gynecologist is a great place to put like a little flyer about betrayal trauma, how to recognize the signs, the symptoms, what can be done about it. Oh, it's not sharing my screen. Sorry, guys, let me fix that. Let's fix. Let's see if this will work. It's doing that thing again where it's not wanting to share my screen. We'll try one more thing. I want you to be able to see it. If I have to just give you the slide deck to see it, then that's what we will do. And you'll be able to open it up on your screen. But I would prefer you to be able to see it online. Success. I have no idea why it's working and not working, but we'll roll with it. We're not going to try to look perfect. We just need to help people out loud. We just need to help people out loud. Unlike grad school, you also don't have to like give citations for everything that you say, right? That's coming out of your mouth. All right, shift 3 that we need to make. Why a tightly niched practice with premium rates can be easier to fill than a broad, moderately priced practice. We talked a little bit about this day 2. The beliefs, the old story sounds like nobody can afford private pay right now. This is just totally false. I need to keep my niche broad so more people can find me. That's the fastest way to not fill your practice. The more specific, the faster you fill. Or I need to lower my rates to compete with insurance and big tech. And what we're seeing is that people with medium rates are doing poorly. People with premium rates are getting filled faster. And you can even look at this yourself. Like I did a poll in our Facebook group a while back in the big online therapist group, and it was split. People with high fees, 200 and up, 180 and up, they're over full. People with average fees, 100, 120, having trouble getting clients. So the middle feels safe, but it's actually the hardest place to get chosen. And not just in terms of rates, but in terms of your marketing, not niching enough, not being specialized enough. I'll say more about that in a second. Because when your marketing looks like everybody else's, your price looks like everyone else's, your niche looks like everybody else's, or it's too general, then you look interchangeable. And why wouldn't a client just use insurance rather than paying out of pocket if you're doing the same thing that everybody else is doing? You're the same price as everybody else, and you're a generalist, you're treating everybody. Not everybody can pay privately, but you do not need everyone. You need the mathematically sufficient number of right fit clients. And we did that math on day 2, and it was between 1 and 4 a month for most of you. So we want to, I wanted to come back to niche for a second. When I say you need to be tightly niched, I do not mean that you need to be like my friend Jana, who, by the way, has premium rates and has a waiting list, because her niche is women with anxiety disorders that are affecting pelvic pain. It's hyper freaking specific, right? Like that's very easy to fill. You don't have to be that niche. But so long as you know the psychology of one favorite client, doesn't even have to be a diagnosis, doesn't have to be a demographic. It has to be their personality. Okay? If you know, and you can have as many as you want, but personality fit. So we just want to move from broad, like I help adults with anxiety and relationship problems, like so does every freaking body else. Why am I going to pick you and pay out of pocket? To, I help adults who replay conversations, searching for signs that their partner is pulling away, and who seek constant reassurance. And the reassurance only lasts for a few minutes before you need some more. Right? It's just, that's the level of specificity we want. And I help you get there inside the intensive. Okay. Also a reminder, you do not need to be the only therapist who does what you do. You're never going to be. But you do need to be the clearest choice for a particular person. The clearest choice for a particular person. Here's a little life example. Are the life examples helpful, or are they too tangential? Let me know. I'll give it in the meantime. You may wonder how people who are doing what I do, like I teach marketing and practice building for therapists, and there are other therapists who are doing this, right? You know them. You might wonder, how are we friends? Because don't we feel competitive? Like we're targeting the same audience. We're targeting therapists. We're targeting therapists who want to market to private pay. Shouldn't we feel in competition with each other? But we don't, because our personalities are totally different. Our methods are totally different. The type of student who works well with me is totally different than the type of student who works well with them. So even though it seems like, oh, we're targeting the same folks, just slight variations in your personality or your client's personality are enough. That's what seals the deal. Okay, let me see here in the chat. Do you have any specialties you advise to network with who often work with adults navigating estrangement? Let me think on that. Let me think on that. Yeah, let me keep thinking. Okay, so remember that you guys felt like it could be too hard. So I just want to remind you, it's simple. Take a screenshot. Flow client, write compelling copy. And remember, we have the bots in the course that will help you to write this. Build strategic visibility so that people can find you and choose you. That's it. That's all we're doing. Okay. And I know the technical pieces of each part can feel overwhelming, which is why the course is 12 weeks long. So I can walk with you through every single step. Here are some people who've had success that aren't just me. Knowing I needed an expert to guide me and keep me accountable, can't stress enough to those considering MI. It is so worth it. Sherry says, a client read my website and loved how I focused on my ideal client and not myself. It's good to know the stuff I have implemented is working. Gwen says, I am 60% private pay and 40% private insurance. I am on target to make just shy of $250K before overhead and taxes. So totally possible. And now we need to see what the missing pieces of your own marketing system are. We're going to do a little activity together in a minute. I'm going to talk to you about marketing intensive first, and then we're going to go to the auditing tool. Okay. I need a drink. This is a lot of talking. Okay. So we started at 11. That means we end at 11 to 12, 12 to 1, 1 to 2. Okay. We end at 2. The marketing intensive is your comprehensive, everything you're going to need implementation program for therapists. The only thing that is not included is your website. You do have to have your own website, but I will help you with all the copy. And I have a discount for you for templates for websites through Anna Walker. I might be able to get you a discount with Letitia Ellis too. I'll have to ask her. We are designing this to help you build your own complete marketing system so that you are in control. You are completely autonomous, sovereign in your own business. Nobody's pulling strings but you. You get to decide who you want to help, when you want to work, what you want to charge, how much time you want to take off, how much you're going to get reimbursed per hour. Nobody else is making those decisions. Ugh. So here's what the experience looks like. We start with helping you reclaim time, because what did we talk about earlier? You're going to need some time to implement. So we start by helping you reclaim time. And some of this is going to be in your practice. Some of y'all are going over session times all the time. We need to rein that in. And some of you, when you have a cancellation, are scrolling on your phone, and I'd rather have you with your feet in the grass or your butt in a chair doing marketing. I was trying to find a way to rhyme ass in there, but I didn't get to it. Okay. The next is that we are going way deeper than you currently are on your flow client, because the more specific, the easier it is to market to that person. And we can build as many as you want. Oh, I'm supposed to be value stacking. Sorry, let me go back. So this first module is worth $600. This second module is worth $800. That brings us to a total of $1,400. I'll tell you why I'm doing this later. Then, and this is a big chunk, we do a lot of copywriting. All the copy you are ever going to need is going to be written by the end. So specialty pages, home pages, about me pages, multiple specialty pages. We're going to make sure your SEO, AEO is on point. People don't say on fleek anymore. And I'm going to make sure that it's following the correct flow. So unlike like if I'm advertising a laptop, I'm just telling people what the laptop does, right? But if I'm advertising a service, then I'm really talking them through the transformation that they're going to get through using the service. It's a really different structure to your specialty page than most people have on their websites. And the structure freaking works, which is why this is worth more money than the other things are worth. So this is easily worth $2,500, especially because it includes your copywriting bots. So they are programmed to help you not just write your website copy, but also the copy that you're going to have on brochures or social media if you choose to do it, and everywhere else. Don't forget, guys, in just a minute, we're going to be going through the audit and the free tool that you get for coming today. The next session of the course is content marketing. So all this is helping people through acts of kindness, helping potential clients, maybe by making a YouTube video. Yes, I've been saying copywriting bots. Yes. What did it sound like I was saying? And it's like making a helpful little worksheet that goes into a gynecologist's office for people who are struggling with betrayal trauma, right? So that's all it is. It's just being helpful out loud so that your people are getting to know that you can help them. The next session is on relationships and referrals. This is non-networking networking. We're building actual relationships with people who serve our ideal client. Okay, so it's a collaborative process. It serves them, it serves you. And the best benefit of all is that you're giving the best possible care to your clients because you are chatting with their other providers. And I'll help you know what to say. So if you're like, oh my God, I don't know what I'll say to a psychiatrist, we're just appealing to the psychiatrist's narcissism. Saying, hey, here's what we're doing in therapy, but I know you have a medical degree. Tell me what you might be seeing that I'm not seeing. That's it. We're not doing anything super fancy. We're not trying to show off. We're giving them a chance to show off a little bit. Then we're going to get found for free, no paid ads. We're doing SEO and AEO for therapists, not for other people. And then going forward, so this is our last week of the course. I'm afraid to like take the screen share down because it's been being weird. I'm thinking about moving one of these modules up. So in the last week of the course, we do two really big things. We set you up to know like, all right, what do I need to do to maintain my momentum month over month over month here on out until I hit that 12-month mark and then I'm on coast. The other thing that we do though, is I walk you through a marketing audit. And what I really want to not be sharing my screen. What that marketing audit does is look at all of the places where your leads might be falling off. So I'm going to show you what analytics to look at on your website to know, am I even getting enough traffic to my website to fill my practice? If not, we know that we need to work on traffic. And I'm going to help you know which part of traffic to work on. Let's say that you are getting enough people, and I'll give you the numbers, hitting your website, but you're not getting freaking calls, or they're dropping off at 20 seconds onto your website. Well, then we know we have a copy problem, and we need to work on that. There's some other problems it could also be, but I'm not going to get lost in the weeds right now. The point is, the audit takes you through step by step where people might be falling off. And the reason that we do this is so that you don't go willy-nilly fixing things that are not broken. We only want to fix the parts that need tweaking. Again, we're not changing the headers and subheaders without looking at the data. We do this over 12 weeks, and it used to be back to back to back. And what I found is that was just not enough spaciousness, because the whole time I'm teaching you guys about the purpose for doing this is so you can live more of your life. But there was no time to live your life. So what we started doing is having the meetings the first 3 weeks of every month. And then you have space. You have the 4th week off. If there's a 5th week, you have the 5th week off. And then we start meeting again the first 3 weeks. Okay, does that make sense? Okay. And Chantel, I just want to call attention to B has a question about what times are the course in UK time, please. Okay. So when we add up all of those modules, which I do not sell separately, the total value is $15,200. And you might be wondering, like, how did I come up with this $6,000 here? This is because my coaching rate is $500 a session. So I just took that rate and did the math and then like did division and shit like that. And that's the number that I came up with, okay? So here's the actual cost. So I'm not charging you 15 grand, although frankly, it is absolutely worth 15 grand. To know that you can make 60 grand more a year, I would pay 15 grand for that kind of difference. That's a value. We're not charging you that much. You can either get the standard course where we meet Tuesdays and Thursdays, Tuesday for an hour, Thursday 2 hours. And we go through the curriculum on Tuesdays. You implement on Thursdays, and I am there in it with you, helping you to implement so it gets done. Hack your hardwiring, guys. Gotta be co-working to get shit done. If you're like, girl, I'm an external processor. I don't talk a lot in groups. I need to be talking to you one-on-one. You can upgrade to VIP, and then you're going to get instant access to me via a walkie-talkie app. And you'll also get asset reviews. So I will review your copy. There are 2 asset reviews. So like a specialty page and a home page, or specialty page and about me page, whatever floats your boat. If you want to save more money, since I'm not charging you the 15 G's, let's save some more. Here is what that looks like. You're so welcome, Gina. And come back and watch the replay, Gina, to go through the tool with us. We're about to transition to that in just a moment. So if you pay in full, we're giving you a discount of $300. If you pay in full and you get VIP, we're doubling that discount, $600. We're also adding a badass bonus if you pay in full that I keep forgetting to mention, which is I'm going to take you on a flow bot building virtual retreat. What does that mean? We're going to meet for a lot of hours, like let's say 5, 6, 7, probably 5, 6. And I'm going to teach you how to build a ChatGPT bot that will help you stay in your wise mind. So we're loading up your Enneagram results or any sort of assessment you've ever taken, your MMPI. We're loading all of that stuff up that you feel comfortable with. We're talking to it about what your challenges are, what your habanero spiciness challenges are. And I also loaded in like videos that I found on YouTube that have been particularly helpful for me. I just uploaded the transcript so it would know like this helps. And then whenever you are on the struggle bus, you can just go to your wise mind that you built, knows all the things it needs to know about you to walk you through how to get to the next step you're trying to get to. I had it before I did this last year, this event. I was struggling to make myself focus and get the slide deck done. And so I was talking to my Wise Mind bot, and it was like, well, would it be helpful if and it gave me 3 options. And one of them was told me an inspirational story about somebody like me who went in with the right attitude and got all the things done. And I'm cleaning the kitchen, listening to my inspirational story because it knows I need to be moving. That helps. So I started moving. It told me the inspirational story. I'm like, yeah, baby, I'm feeling this. And then I went and got my stupid slides done. So we'll use it to kind of tweak to your mind. I love that bonus so much. If you are like, girl, I need a payment plan, I'm not paying this in full, you can still save with early bird discount, which we have extended because I love you and I want you to be able to have it. So that's extended until August 2nd. You'll save $700 on standard. You'll save $1,400 on VIP. That's a big ass savings. You can also combine savings. So you can do early bird and paid in full. That's $1,000 off of the course, $2,000 off of VIP. So your coupon codes are down here at the bottom. I'm gonna take a drink while you screenshot that because I know that the pricing is freaking confusing. It's confusing for me. So take a screenshot if you need it. I'm gonna change the screen in 3, 2, 1. All right. So some questions that I get asked a lot about the course. What if I don't have a website? No big deal if you don't have a website. You're going to have to write all your copy anyway before you can put it on the website. I will give you a discount code to get a template. I do not recommend hiring somebody to build your website from scratch. It's too expensive and it's overkill. So I would get a very pretty template. I'm guessing it's under $500, but don't hold me to that. I think with the discount, it definitely is. It might even be $300. And then we'll fill in the copy together. If you've already paid for copywriting, here's the problem that I see often is that a lot of it's good, but it's nowhere near enough copy. We need to be hitting over 1,000 words, and there are specific sections that have to be on there to convert clients. So I will help you use what you have and zhuzh it up and make sure that it hits all the criteria we need to actually have it function. Is SEO overwhelming? No. We're going to make it super duper simple. And it's kind of fun. So next steps here before we start to transition into the toolkit. Chantel is going to drop the link to purchase. Ooh, so Karen said, this is a good question. My website was built by someone else. Do you teach us how to see the traffic, etc.? Is somebody else continuing to manage it? And Karen, that's my question. And if so, they will pull all that data for you. They should already be sending you monthly analytics. If they're not, you're going to ask them to do so because you should be getting them already. And then I will help you look at them and make sense of them. Okay, couple reminders for you on step 3. So step 1, enrollment link is in the chat. Step 2, pick standard or VIP. If you have questions about VIP, you can always just email me. Step 3, use your early bird coupon code to get discounts. Purchase tonight if you want to get the Hack Your Hardwiring for free, you do. And if you want the visibility starter kit, all the social media stuff done for you, that expires in 48 hours. So I want you to grab it. There's no sense in you spending your time on that. This is your Hack Your Hardwiring. I already went over this slide, so I won't do it again, but man, the techniques are so damn helpful. They're so helpful. I have rewatched this training for my own self. This is the done for you visibility starter pack. All the copy is pre-written. I'll tell you the posting schedule, which is to say you can post it all at once. That's totally fine. You're going to get branded templates, a quickie little Canva tutorial to tell you how to edit them if you want to change anything about them. And all the captions are already done for you. You're welcome to change it if you want, but you don't have to. You can do the work you love and live a life worth savoring, but you probably need to be making more money to do it. And you probably need to have more time and more energy to really live that life. So this is just the step to getting you there. Rachel says, if I can't make it live to any of the Tuesdays or Thursdays, would the course still be effective for me? That is a really good question. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen to be able to answer it. Most salespeople are going to be like, yes, it would be still amazing. What I'm going to tell you is it's going to depend on your brain. So for me, if I buy a course, I hate waiting for the live component. I just want to jump in and binge it. I bought it because I was excited. I want to get in and binge. All the course content's already there for you. So you could literally buy today and be doing the course content because we have the replays from last time. So if your brain likes to binge, that will work great. You can also submit your questions to me ahead of time, and I will answer them in the Thursday session so that you can watch that on the replay. If your brain needs to be there live to actually do the thing, I don't recommend doing it this time. So it totally depends on where you are in your life and what would work best for your brain. There are some things like if I was taking a class on counting, I'm going to have to be there live because I'm going to hate that so much that I'm never going to make myself do it on my own. The marketing to me is pretty fun. So it's like fun to watch it and binge it. And there will be, Rachel, some of the lessons I'm upgrading and changing out. So I'll give you a heads up if you decide to do it. Like, hey, don't bother watching lesson 4 ahead of time because I'm going to redo that one. So we can let you know. Okay. Other questions before I start showing you the auditing toolkit. When does the course start? How long do we have access to the replays? The course starts August something. I'm looking around for my planner. The course starts August 4th. August 4th. Yes, you can discuss savings through email for sure. Just email me. We have a kickoff call at 12, so we all get to know each other. And then we go straight into learning at 1 o'clock. And in terms of access to the replays, you have it for life. So everything that's in the course, you have for the rest of the life of the course. And whenever I make updates, I email our alumni to let them know, like, hey, I updated lesson 5, or, so that like, watch it, we've made some changes. I usually don't say this during this period of time, but I'll share with you. The course officially ends at that 4-month mark. But I still am going to email you a few months later and be like, hey, y'all, let's have a reunion. I want to hear how your marketing is going. I want to help you troubleshoot if anything's not working, because I want you to have freaking success. So I want you to be getting clients. I want you to be full. And if there's something we need to troubleshoot, we will do that together. All right, I think I got those questions. Let's do your free toolkit. So Chantal, will you please drop the link for the free tool? I'm going to find it on my screen so I can share it with you. Okay. Thank you. And if you don't want to download it right this second, you guys, that's fine. I'm just going to pull it up on my screen and share it with you anyway. All right. This is your first 90 days roadmap. Now, I put a link also to the course in here, just in case you're like, where's the link? It's a freedom marketing method resource. And if you have a friend that you feel like needs to see this, it is okay if you share it with them. So a lot of my stuff will be like, don't share it. But if you have somebody that you're like, I really care about this person, I know them, and this will be helpful to them, it's okay to share it. So first, we're going to fix anything that's not working and add in the right things. Second, we're going to prioritize the things that move the needle the most and do those first before you run out of marketing steam. And third, we're going to make sure that we're doing the minimum marketing necessary, because there's a million things you could be doing. We don't want to do all the things. We want to have a life. So I'm going to give you an example of how we would troubleshoot what's not working. This is a good slide to take a screenshot of, just in case that would be helpful. So the first piece of your assessment, so this is what I would suggest you do, whether you take the course or not, in your first 30 days. We need to figure out what's not working. So for example, one leak, one problem area might be you're not getting enough people to your website, so not enough traffic. The way that I suggest you measure this is you look at your analytics. If you don't know how to do that, I teach you how to do it in the course. And if you're getting under 100 unique visitors, under 100 people visiting your site, visiting a page, particularly the specialty page that you really want clients to schedule on. If it's less than 100 unique people visiting a month, we've got a traffic problem. That's the problem we're going to try to solve first. Okay. One thing to just double check there is, like, I had somebody who was getting 10,000 views on one specialty page a month, but no calls. So when we dug into her analytics, we found out that there was like a bot from Singapore who was just hitting her site over and over and over and over again. And she had like 15 people visiting from the US. So we knew we still had a traffic problem and we had a bot problem we needed to ignore or fix. Okay. So you know you've got a traffic problem if your specialty pages are not getting 100 unique viewers every month. Not your whole website, but your specialty page. It could be that you're getting plenty of traffic, but you see in your analytics, and again, I teach you the analytics in the course, it's literally like 5 things to look at. People are staying on the page for less than 20 seconds. If they're staying on the page for less than 20 seconds, then we've either got a mismatch problem where what they're typing in lands them on our site, but it's not what our site is about. Or we have a copywriting problem. So the copy is not resonating. They hit it and they're like, maybe it's a graphic design problem. This page is ugly, or something like that. Like they've landed there, but they don't like it. And they don't like it either because what they were searching for is really not what the page is about, which means we're going to change your header 1s and header 2s. Or they got there and they're like, I don't like this page. It's not saying what I need to hear. Or this page is super ugly and I'm out of here. The other thing that can happen is if your page has a very slow loading speed, and I'll teach you how to check that. It takes 2 seconds. Then people will hop right off because we have no patience. And so that's a conversion problem. You get traffic, but they're not sticking around. So we have fixes for that. But maybe you got enough traffic. They land there. They love your website. They schedule the free consult. You do the free consult, but nobody sticks. Everybody's like, oh, but I want to use my insurance. Or I'm going to try like 6 other therapists before I decide. Then we know this is a second conversion problem. We're not doing the free consult right. So I have a piece in the course that teaches you how to do a free consult that will convert your therapy clients. who are ideal fits for you into private pay clients. Okay, ethically, compassionately, no weird stuff. The takeaway to this slide is that if even one piece is broken, traffic, conversion, the consultation, then the whole system stalls out, right? It doesn't work. Your marketing isn't like just a bunch of tactics. It's a connected system. It's a pipeline. And we've got to build it that way from the start. I'm going to teach you how to do that in the marketing intensive. Let's keep going. This is a great screenshot if you want to take this home with you. So remember the idea here. It's all part of a system. If you're getting traffic to your website, but it ain't landing, there's no resonance with your ideal clients, you still got no clients. If your copy is on freaking point, it's so good, but nobody's seeing it, you still got no freaking clients. We have to have both sides of the system. On the get found side, we've got AEO and SEO, but for therapists. So it has to match what people are actually looking for. We've got content, so like genuinely helpful stuff. So one person in the course, Sherry, she put poems on her site. And they were just poems that really spoke to her. And she was her ideal client like 5 years ago. So they spoke to her ideal client. That piece of content really made people pick her. She had 2 clients who signed up with her because they were on her site. She had traffic. And once they got there, they saw this really helpful little asset on there, just this beautiful poem that she loved. And they're like, oh my gosh, yes, she likes that. She likes me. I'm signing up. Doesn't have to be complicated. And get found is relationships. Service over ego and advertising. We're just connecting with collaborative care partners. So easy peasy. Get picked. Flow client clarity. I feel like I couldn't say that more than I've said that. Copywriting that makes them feel deeply understood. And honestly, design and vibe matters a lot. It doesn't have to be like perfectionizing, but when they land there, we don't want them thinking this is a 1980s blog. It does need to look reasonably modern, not perfect, reasonably modern. And just from a structural point of view, I really want to not share my screen so I can see it, but I'm so afraid that it's not going to share again. Can you see me? Like, am I in a little picture for you anywhere? Okay, cool. All right, watch my hands. When people land on your website, their eyes start at the right and the top, and then they bounce to the left, then to the right, then to the left. What that means is we want your calls to action, your sign up for your free consult, to be in the spots where their eyes are naturally going to land. We're also going to do cool formatting stuff. So we have some people who read every detail. That person's not me. And we have some people who are skimmers. That's me. As we're writing the website, you're going to have a ton of copy. It's got to be 1,000 words or more. Ain't nobody going to read 1,000 words except for like an analytical buyer. And there aren't that many of them. So what we do is we highlight with either bold text or a color or headers or subheaders, the parts that if a skimmer or skimming that website would tell them enough that they would book. And I can show you exactly the format to use to know what am I supposed to be bolding here so that your skimmers, which is going to be 95% of your people, will get the important points of your copy. Okay, I just want to keep teaching. I want you to tell me in the chat, if my practice truly supported the life I want, I would finally, what? If my practice truly supported the life I want, I would finally, you can't see the screen share anymore? Can you guys see it? Can anybody else see it? Okay, I might, if you have dual monitors, I might have popped over to one of your other monitors. If my business, for me, fully supported the life that I want, I would do a better job at protecting blocks of time that my husband has off of work as a state employee so that I could have that time off with him. Okay. Yeah. If my practice truly supported the life I want, I would feel safe, like I could support myself. Like this is a real job and not a hobby supported by my partner. Yes. Yes. Can you imagine? Like Isn't that crazy? The work that you're doing feels like a hobby. And it's only because it's not making you enough money yet. It's not because of the quality of the work, because you know when you're in those sessions, this ain't a hobby. This is soul work that I'm doing. Awesome. Okay, let's keep rolling here. So many of you asked for the slide decks. Y'all, I really was like, sure, I'll send you the slide decks. When I go back through them, it's a freaking cluster. Like there are slides from 10 years ago in there, and I'm not going to go back and edit all that just so I can send you the slides. So what I did was I put the most important parts in these slides so that you would have that. So remember from day, and you don't have to fill this out right now, but you can if you want. Day 2, we talked about your goal gross revenue. And gross is like all the money. It's before you pay taxes, before you pay expenses, all of that. Now in the course, I do have a formula to show you, like, let's say you want to take home 150K, how to figure out how much you need to make to cover taxes, expenses, retirement, all that crap. The number's higher than we want it to be, but I have a formula for you. For now, you can just put in your gross, what you want to gross. The weeks that you want to work each year, it's less than you think. And keep in mind, this isn't just vacation. This is like, sometimes you're going to get sick. Sometimes your kid is going to get sick. Sometimes your husband is going to have a state holiday that you were not prepared for, but he wants to do something fun, right? So collect all the potential weeks you want to work per year. At the most should be 48, but it should probably be less than that. Then client-facing sessions I want each week. So most of you said about 10. Put that in here. Here is our formula to figure out what your required average session fee needs to be. And remember how important it is to have in your mind, this is the average reimbursement I need to get. So if you're planning to slide a scale, your advertised rate needs to be higher so that you actually average the amount that you're going to average. Can I get some head nods if that makes sense? If it doesn't, I can say it differently. Okay. So when we do this work, usually there's like a little bit of, oh, I'm never going to be able to get that many clients at that rate, right? And then I want to point this out to you. Remember the formula we did to show you how many new clients you needed per month? And it was between 1 and 4. I put that formula in here for you. And AI helped me make it smarter. So I was like, what's this 4.33 number that you're telling me to put in this formula? That's the average number of weeks in a month. Super smart AI, super smart. So this formula is a little bit better than the one that I originally gave you, and you have this in your link. And the marketing intensive goes deeper. I want you to remember, whether you do it or not, the boundaries are the distance at which I can love you and me simultaneously. Knowing your number isn't the hard part, even though none of us really love math. Believing you're allowed to hold that number is what's more challenging. So in the marketing intensive, we do the math, but we also do the mindset. And I'll be honest with you, like, I think I'm okay at mindset work, but our cohorts are badass at mindset work. There's always at least 2 or 3 people in a cohort who are so good at it and super supportive of everybody else in there. So know that you can bring that expertise into the room and share it with others. All right, the cost of inaction. Now, this is me being a little bit of a butthead, but this is also something you're going to have on your specialty page. We'll make it nice and not coercive, but we do need to help people to make a decision about booking sessions or not. So we want to help them think about, like, what is the benefit of booking right now today? And what is the cost if you wait another 6 months? So this is what I'm doing here with you. The cost of inaction. Marketing can feel hard, but tolerating a broken system ultimately costs you a lot more, financially, energetically, health-wise, dependency-wise. So I want you to fill this in the chat or in your workbook. If you do nothing, you don't DIY your marketing, you don't join the marketing intensive, obviously I think you should join the marketing intensive. What is the cost for you of doing nothing? And I put in a few of the costs that I've heard from people in the past. One of them was this, one of our great students was just such a great mom, but she noticed that at the end of seeing 6 to 8 clients a day, she was completely empathed out, and her kiddo would come up to her wanting something totally normal, and she would snap, and she would feel horribly guilty. And she knew that this was just because her practice was energetically costing too much. She was making enough money, but she wasn't charging enough. So she didn't have enough time to recover. So she was snapping. This was totally against our value system. Financial costs. I put in here the $60K a year to insurance, but I can think of 12 other students off the top of my head. One who gained 20K in 1 year, and all she did was market a little. She didn't even do like everything in the course yet. She's just marketed a little. She let go of her lowest paying insurance and accepted more people with her higher paying insurance. And she gained 20K with just that in a single year. Professional cost, keeping your fingers crossed that the big tech bro platforms aren't putting your license on the line. That just makes me not be able to sleep at night. Like that stresses me out to a degree that I can't. No Lexapro can touch it. There's not a high enough dose for me, right? So I want to see what you guys have here. If I do nothing, I will stay in debt, and the debt will grow, and I will stay stressed. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I would much rather go hard for 6 months, 9 months. I don't really want to do anything for a year, but go hard for a period of time and then have relief on the other side. All right, I have here a picture of my dogs who passed about 1.5 years ago now. This is Taco and this is Bella. And because I had my hours on lock, I was able to provide all the medical care that they needed for the last 6 months of their lives so that they could live good lives for those last 6 months. It was a really, really intense period of time. And I was so grateful that I could be there for them and, do subcutaneous fluid injections and, carry them out into the yard to go potty. And like, I had enough money to buy a little cart so I could take Taco around the neighborhood when he couldn't walk well anymore. Those things, like, they matter. Oh, I don't want to start crying. Those things really, really matter. Now, let's talk about what the benefits of taking action will be. So whether you do this with me or you DIY it, okay? The feeling, these are just some of the things other people have said, the feeling of spaciousness when you can meet your kiddo's next meltdown with equanimity. The financial benefit of keeping 100% of your fee, and you feel in control of getting clients. You're not waiting to be like, is anybody going to send people to me this month? I don't know. maybe not, right? The professional benefit here is if you know that with your ideal clients, you're a pretty badass. And I know many of you know this, even if you won't admit it. With your ideal client, many of you are badass. If we can fill your practice with your ideal client, you feel so much better energetically because the work you're doing lights you up. But here's the other thing. 1 in 10 of your clients are going to be sharers. I'm a sharer. If something cool happens and I think somebody else is going to benefit from it, I'm going to tell you all about it, right? All we need is a few clients who sing our praises to fill our practice, and a few collaborative care providers who sing our praises to keep our practice full. So once we get all of these basics in place, you keep being a badass and your practice is going to stay full simply through relationships. There will be some monthly things that I suggest you check in on for your business. Like, we're always going to be checking in to make sure our revenue is good. I'm going to give you a table to be able to track traffic. How many people are landing there? How many people are pushing the button to schedule? What percentage of people show up for the free consults? How many of them turn into clients? You'll do that every month so that we can see if a problem is coming ahead of time. If suddenly the traffic dips on our website, we know, uh-oh, hasn't affected my referrals yet, but it's gonna. So let me fix that problem. Okay. All right. The way that you're going to track over time is establishing your baseline. So we're going to start by knowing what's your current average monthly traffic on each important page on your website. Your specialty pages are the most important. What's your current consult conversion rate? So for me, when I was starting out, I did a ton of free consultations, and I would say I referred out about 60% of them and kept about 40% because I wanted perfect fit clients. And because I didn't know what I was doing with my marketing. So I was getting a lot of people who wanted to use insurance and could only use insurance. So 60% I was referring on, I was keeping about 40. I would say on average, my students are keeping like 50 to 70% of the clients who come through the free consultation because their website's doing much of the vetting. There are still going to be people who do not read that you're private pay and they come and they expect to use insurance. It's just going to happen. I'll give you some scripts to deal with it. And then we also have to track how many referral conversations did you have in the last month? So this is like checking in with your referral providers, so collaborative care providers, because we do need to maintain relationships. Your relationship with your spouse doesn't maintain itself. You have to do date nights, you know? So we have to have like a checking in, and I give you a chart to track that and all that good stuff. And I give you scripts to check in ways that don't feel gross. So in the intensive, okay, cool. In the intensive, I'm going to translate these like big picture things into actionable, tangible steps that you're going to take every week. So you can check the boxes and know that you've done the things that you need to do. All right, let's keep it moving. Oh, wait. Got a little thing here. We're almost through this. Remember that we did the starter hook statement and we did that evocative sentence. Do you feel evocative thing? I help blank with blank so that they can blank without blank, right? So this is that, just so you have it handy. Remember, this needs to be on every page of your website, especially your specialty pages, and it should be specific to each flow client. All right. What we got here? Then we're going to follow your own data. You get to become a little data detective. So we talked about this a little bit. You're getting tons of traffic, but few consults. We know we got a copywriting problem we're going to work on. You're getting, your consults are going great, but you're just not getting enough of them. We got a traffic problem. We know what we're going to work on there. Okay, I think I covered this pretty well, so I'm not going to go through it again because I want to make sure I can answer your questions. Okay. So here's your maintenance rhythm. My maintenance rhythm, once a year, I'll check what, and every month I'll check what. So you can fill this in. I would say that every month, one thing I would for sure check is on Google Search Console, which is free, to make sure that my website is mapped, which is a fancy word Google uses for like, we've looked it over and we know what's on your site so we can tell people about it. And that each page is indexed, which is a fancy way for Google to say, we know which each page is about, and we have it in a little table of contents so we can actually put it in front of potential clients. If those things aren't there, they're very easy to fix, but unless you fix them, your website is invisible. That happens more often than you would think. So that's something every single month I'm checking on that. Okay. Is there anything you guys are thinking of that you're like, I definitely want to check this every month? I would like to say that I would check my income every month, but I don't. So do as I say, not as I do. All right, so this roadmap is giving you a diagnosis, but the marketing intensive builds the cure. It is really the whole connected system. So the roadmap is giving you like a real picture of math and client count. Like, what do you actually really need? My hope is you feel relief. But the intensive is giving you the entire Get Found, Get Picked curriculum. The roadmap is giving you a first look at where maybe you're having some leaks, like traffic, conversion, consult. The intensive is giving you templates for what the hell your copy should say and how it should flow, copy frameworks that actually convert into paying clients, what the structure of the page needs to look like. In the free audit here, you get one drafted flow client hook But in the intensive, you're getting direct feedback from me on your flow client. If it's specific enough, if your copy is resonant enough, and if it's following the framework it needs to follow to actually get clients, if we need to tweak your strategy. So for example, some of you might be seeing children, but we need to write your copy to the parent. Or you're seeing teens, which means we have to write the copy to the parent and the teen because we know they're going to Google stalk you, right? And then I'm going to help you leverage your highest, like Pareto principle, 80-20 rule. Like, what's the least amount of work you can do to get the biggest result? Because we're lazy marketers around here. This roadmap gives you your minimum AEO visibility basics checklist. Remember how we talked about, like, you have to have your license on there. You have to have the states that you practice in on there, who you help, who you don't help. But in the marketing intensive, I'm going to give you your full AEO, like what needs to happen for AEO, for SEO, and for your AEO and SEO hacks, all of the things. In this, I gave you a gentle nudge towards relationship marketing. In the course, I'm going to strong arm your little butts into doing relationship marketing. Whatever it is that I have to do to help you work around mindset blocks, we are going to do it because it is the number one way to fill your practice. It's the only way big tech cannot jump in front of you in line. And it's the highest trust referral we can get. So those folks convert better. It's important. And I promise I'll help you work through whatever roadblocks are getting in your way. And then in here, I gave you a first honest look at where you stand. I really want to reassure you that once we get your marketing sorted, you can think of it like this is good. We're building your home, your marketing home. Now, you may change the curtains 5 years from now, or you may decide like, oh, I want to like add in this little decorative photo on the wall. You are never rebuilding the house. We're building a marketing system for you that works in any economy because it's based on marketing fundamentals and human psychology, not on algorithms. Algorithms change. All right. Here's why I feel like this is speaking to me. And maybe it doesn't really affect you, but we'll see. For me, I do not like being beholden to anybody. I like to have full control of my life. So I don't want insurance panels dictating my rates. Now, if they're going to give me a good rate and then they're not a pain in the ass, I don't mind taking it. But I'm also going to make sure that I have other ways to bring in revenue because eventually they're going to change. I don't like algorithms being in charge of me getting clients because they're also outside of my control. They change constantly. I don't want a group practice taking a cut of my labor for the rest of my life. If it was for a year as a jumping off point, fine. But not for the next 40 years am I going to give up 60% or 30% of my income for something I could learn to do in less than a year. I like answering to myself and to my clients and to nobody else. I also want you thinking about sustainability. If we're thinking about building a practice that you can be in love with 15 years from now, 3 years from now, 20 years from now, we need to think about structuring it in a way that will work sustainably. And that includes bringing in exactly the right kinds of clients for you to feel lit up and like you're doing great work. And that should leave you with room to breathe, to live, and to be a human being out in the world. Marketing is not, it's not the end result. It's just the bridge that gets you to the end result. So you're going to hear me harping in the course on, but are you right now living some of your dream life? Like, did you go outside today? Have you moved your body today? Are you spending too much time on your copy? Like, can we ship it? Is it good enough? Because the whole point is to be able to live more of your life. And if you're like me, I could put that off forever because there's always something else that I should be doing. So I want you to be able to be living some of that right now and setting yourself up to have more of it in the future. Is that my last slide? Yes. Holy Toledo, that was a lot of yapping. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. Chantel is going to pop in the chat all the links, all the discount codes, all the blah, blah, blah. Let's move to Q&A time. If you asked me a question earlier, can you go up, copy and paste it down below so I can see it? Because I'll never find it in there. So I'm going to give you a minute. I'm going to take a freaking drink. Oh, I did forget to mention the payment plans. Thank you so much, Chantel. And I want to make this super clear about the payment plans. We have extended the payment plans past the end of the course. So you're going to be in the course with me for 4 months. Your payment plan is 6 months. Down payment, 6 months payments. So really you'll have 7 months to pay it off. We do that because I want you to have time so that you can actually invest in the course, even if like right now, finances are a little tighter than you want them to be. I want it to be as accessible as possible without me getting kind of screwed over, okay? That's why we have a down payment. If you are doing VIP, it's more expensive. So we have extended the payment plan to 12 months. The course ends in 4 months. Your coaching ends in 4 months. VIP ends in the 4 months. You still have a bunch of time to pay off the course. So that is purely just wanting to help you out, have access to it. I want to do a little bit of math for you though. Should have had this on a slide. Here's my calculator. I'm curious if you think that even just based on what you learned today or what you expect to learn in the intensive, if you think you could get one client at $100, do you think you get one client at $100 if you took the course? I better see some freaking heads nodding, y'all. Okay. Yeah, move it, nod some heads, because one client a week for a year, most of you guys see your clients for a year, is $5,200. That's less than you're going to pay for the course, even with VIP. So from an ROI point of view, you're going to get a client at $100 and you're going to have paid off the course. Like that feels pretty clear. You could do that now with what you've learned just from the free stuff. Okay. So I want you to feel confident that you're going to get your money back out of the course. It does not take that much. One client at $200 a session for 6 months more than pays for the course. You're already in profit land. All right, let me look at questions. Okay, so Karen, you're saying you're managing the website. It's on Squarespace, fantastic. I'd asked about figuring out if it's performing number of visitors. Yeah, this is no problem. There is a plugin called SEO Space that is going to be your good friend because it's going to be able to tell you how your site is performing. Don't pay for it. Just use the free version for now. And then you can also use for free Google Search Console. It will give you some analytics as well. Now, here's what's super annoying, y'all. There's a bunch of ways to get analytics for your website. So WordPress has their own plugin to tell you their analytics. Google has their own analytics. None of them are going to be perfect. Even if you used all of the analytic providers, they're going to be like a little discrepant, which I find the OCD in me just is like so annoyed by that. I'm like, how do I trust you? You're not right. What we're looking for is trend over time. So we want to see your unique visitors going up month over month over month. Summertime, it will dip. That's normal for every profession. But we generally want to see that track going up. So it doesn't matter which analytic tool you use. We're just looking at the general trajectory. Okay, other questions? If you had a question earlier, now is your shot. And you can turn on your mic to ask if you prefer. Is your brain melting from too much information? Yeah. Okay, let me ask this differently. Right now, if you tuned into yourself, what do you feel? I'm going to ask the question how I was thinking of it, and then I'm going to fix it. I was going to say, what do you feel like you need? And then I immediately thought, a cocktail. That's not the kind of answer that I'm looking for right now. I mean, if you're feeling like overwhelmed and your brain is melting, what would be helpful for you right now? I see you guys typing and I appreciate it. Oh, Susan, good question. Okay. So Susan says, I use Brighter Vision for my website. I have to either email them for changes. Would I need to change from Brighter Vision to a different platform? Okay. Personally, I don't like somebody else owning, this is a theme, control. I don't like somebody else owning my website. So the way that companies like Brighter Vision, I have no beef with Brighter Vision in particular. The way that they typically work is you pay a small amount up front for them to set up the website for you, and then they get paid month over month to like keep it up. But here's the thing. Over time, you'll have spent more money paying month over month than if you had just had your own website. And I do recommend Squarespace and a template. The other piece is that, and I don't know if this is the case with Brighter Vision, but when they say we'll keep it up, most therapists interpret that to mean you're going to SEOify it, like you're going to keep my SEO up. If you're paying a company to maintain your SEO, you should be getting reports every single month of the performance of your site so that you know if it's working, if what they're doing is working. So I would be asking for those analytics. Now, if the analytics were banging and you're getting 1,000 people per page per month, I'd be like, I will just keep paying y'all because cool, like that's good. What I have typically seen is that they have not been doing SEO, been doing something else. I don't know what. Holy cow. So I have mixed feelings about it. What I would do is email them and be like, hello, could I please have my analytics for the last 12 months? Or can I please have access to the back end of my own frigging website so I can see the analytics month over month for the last 12 months? And if you're in the course, I will help you interpret them. Now, what these companies say is, hey, if you ever decide to leave us, we'll give you all your copy, all your graphics, blah, 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 which is great. Except that if you did have some SEO traction, you're starting from scratch there. So if you join the course, I will help you make that decision. We can talk about it together and make a strategic decision after we've seen your analytics. Squarespace is now charging you close to $400. That is surprising to me, and I'm wondering if you might be on a fancy plan. Are you on a fancy plan? So let's look and see if you're on a fancy plan.
Okay, I don't know, but I got to tell you, you could have peeled me off the ceiling. And their customer service is, I don't even know if it exists. And I'm a therapist, so you can't talk to anybody.
Right. You're not big enough and bad enough. Right. Yeah, you can think of it, they're a conglomerate. They're like a big, big company. They're not going to be talking to us. But what I will say with them, well, with any company that has good enough SEO, we're never going to be able to talk to somebody. That's just how it's going to work out. So what I then look for is, what is the least pain in the ass company I can work with? I had WordPress. I hated it. There were updates constantly. It was annoying. I never knew how to do the updates. I hated it. I felt like I was constantly maintaining it. Some people love it. If you're techie, go forth. Squarespace, I have not made an update in 9 years. I don't do anything to that damn website. It just runs. Set up, it runs. I do nothing to it. So even if I was paying $400 a month or $400 a year, okay. I mean, like, my dad owns a rental company, a physical business, and he's having to pay thousands of dollars for a billboard. So like my costs for a practice are super low comparatively. Wix is okay. It's okay. I would prefer Squarespace. They do have good analytics though. Okay. Yeah, I agree with you, Josephine, about always pay your own hosts. Like, always pay for your own website if you can. It's just, you just have a lot more control over it. Ooh, that's nice to know. Josephine says that WordPress now does auto updates. It also, like, WordPress for me just has too many freaking features, and my shiny object syndrome will make me add features in that then I'm going to have to deal with later. It's just not worth it. Okay. Let's see what else we have. We talked before about making sure you have a domain in your own name and that you point it to your website. So that's just a pro tip. If you don't have that, do it. You used to have a website on GoDaddy that used WordPress and it was a nightmare. Ooh. I think I have my domain through GoDaddy and then I'm on Squarespace. So I point the domain to Squarespace. Okay, guys, if there are not any other questions, we can wrap up early, but it's totally up to you. The ball is in your court. Okay. I will see you Wednesday. We're going to talk about overcoming fear of visibility, and we're going to do coaching Q&As. So if after your brain has come back online, you're like, oh yeah, I had these 14 questions, write them down and then bring them to that meeting. Glenna says for the course, is there written narrative or just talking and screen type today? I'm taking notes, but it's difficult to listen and take notes at the same time. While I consider whether to take the course, what's the best way to ask questions? So we have video, but we also have transcripts. So we got you covered. And there is a workbook for every single week. The workbook is basically my script. So you'll have that all written out for you and you can make a copy and you can type in it. So like, let's say I'm introducing the idea of flow client and I've got a bunch of prompts. You get to make a copy of that and you can type in your answers if that's like how your brain works and how you want to do it. Yeah. So we do have that available. We also have transcription, not transcription, captions. If you watch the video, like while we're not doing it live and you're watching the replay, there will be captions on it. Great question. Lisa's saying, when I design it on desktop, mobile looks totally different. That's true on all of them. So that's true on all of them. Like when I'm doing my Squarespace, I always have to look at like, okay, so this is, it looks good on my computer. What's it going to look like on my phone? And when I say I really mean Chantel and Shirley, because nobody wants to let me close to that. We do have a replay of this video. We will send it out to you. And we will have those available until, well, we had it set for July 31st, but since cart closes August 2nd, we'll probably keep it open till August 2nd. Please don't forget, guys, Hack Your Hardwiring bonus expires tonight. So if you're thinking about joining, but part of your like resistance, obstacle, fear is like, Neurospicy land, I'm not going to be able to get all the things done. This is the thing that's going to help you out with that. Right? And I guess really the pay in full bonus is going to help with that as well, because we're building a wise mind based on your stuff. All right, friends, I'm going to go rest my throat and snuggle with my puppy, who has been such a good baby this whole time. I have not heard any barking or whining. So hopefully I don't find anything destroyed when I go back out into the living room. Take good care. I'll see you Wednesday.